Chapter 268. After that, Xiao Xiao lowered his head and kissed Yinran fiercely. However, Yinran was in a fit of anger. How could she let him kiss her so easily? The two of them engaged in a battle of words, using all kinds of strategies and tactics to attack the other party's territory. They vowed to make the other party surrender under their lips and tongue. Neither of them gave way to the other. They used all their strength to entangle with each other. Their hands and feet were not idle. They desperately suppressed each other, as if whoever could hold the other in place would be the winner of this battle. It was unknown who took the initiative to make a move, but there was a sound of clothes being torn. Both of them suddenly stopped, and then a louder sound of tearing rang out, waving flags and shouting in their ears. The battle became more and more intense. In the end, the two of them rolled from the bed to the ground, and then from the ground back to the bed. Words of harm could no longer be said. The torn clothes floated all over the room. In the end, only the sound of the two people's continuous breathing filled the entire room. Finally, the wind stopped and the clouds stopped. The two of them stopped fighting. The entanglement of lips and tongues became lingering necks. After a long time, a low laugh came from Xiao Xiao's chest. Ran, I find that you are really jealous. At this time, Yinran's head did not hurt anymore, and her anger seemed to have dissipated. After venting, her whole body felt comfortable. You are also jealous. Xiao Xiao raised his head and looked at Yinran with narrowed eyes and smiled. Yinran, I think you remember me. No. Yinran, you are still stubborn. If you didn't remember, would you let me be so intimate with you? After that, he signaled Yinran with his eyes to look at their bodies. At this time, Yinran realized that the clothes on the two of them had long been gone, and they were only wearing underwear. Her face was red. Where is the quilt? Go and find the quilt. Xiao Xiao climbed out of bed. His attractive body was white and shining under the light. The perfect golden ratio body made Xiao Xiao deliberately walk in a big circle in the room. After looking at Yinran's blushing eyes with satisfaction, he picked up the quilt and threw it on the bed. Yinran quickly wrapped herself up tightly. Because of the uneven cotton wool, there was a clear dent in a part of her body. Xiao Xiao was stunned. It seemed that Yinran's body was missing a piece. He quickly got into the quilt and filled the gap. Looking at the flat bed, he was finally satisfied. After this ruckus, the two of them finally calmed down. Their hearts were as sticky as candy that couldn't be melted. Ran, don't take that girl's matter to heart. It was really an accident. It was the first time someone drank too much and pulled her. Today she didn't stand firm and almost fell. I helped her up. Nothing happened. Xiao Xiao calmly explained again. That man is Minister Zhou, the one I told you about before. I've been busy cleaning up the aristocratic families in the East, so I've been running around outside. He said that he wanted me to take over the management of the cultivation world. So he brought me to a banquet like this to recognize people. Yinran said. I wanted you to be my female companion before. You might as well come with me. Xiao Xiao snorted with dissatisfaction. I was also temporarily arranged. Yinran helplessly explained. Then why are you holding his arm? Xiao Xiao still had a problem. Isn't your female companion holding your arm in this kind of occasion? Xiao Xiao remembered that Wu Mei was also holding his arm. He could only snort twice. Ran, you ignored me for so long. I feel so wronged. Yinran suddenly remembered that the reason for the divorce was because they were too busy with work. They couldn't accompany each other, and finally separated. If we were separated for a long time, would we break up? Don't even think about it. You have this kind of idea now mainly because you haven't remembered our past. We have suffered so much and suffered so much before we could be together. Anyway, I cherish it very much. When I was locked in the yin-yang formation, you were the only thing that kept me going. So Yinran quickly remember. You always make me feel uneasy. And that Minister Zhou, I feel that the way he looked at you was a bit strange. He looked at me with provocation. Does he have any ideas about you? All of a sudden, Xiao Xiao guessed correctly. Yinran suddenly panicked. The corner of her mouth twitched. No way, don't guess. Xiao Xiao gritted his teeth and said, This old man, if he wants to be an old cow eating young grass, see if I don't peel his skin and pull out his tendons. Yinran was a little guilty. She shrank in the quilt. Well, you can focus on your career. Is the movie about to be released? I will accompany you to the premiere. Xiao Zhao's hair was immediately smoothed. His hands under the quilt immediately became mischievous. He hugged Yanran from behind. Ran, I know you are the best. Yanran was suddenly tickled by him, and rolled in the quilt. The night was long. Xiao Xiao, who hadn't seen Yanran for almost 2 months, was not so easy to get rid of. He wanted to help Yanran recall their previous interactions. Pa! A slap landed on Wu Mei's face. Is this how you do your work? That's all you've done? What effect did it have? The 3 consecutive questions made Wu Mei, who was kneeling on the ground, lower her head even more. Director Zhou, this task is a little difficult. This Xiao Xiao doesn't take the bait at all. I think I am not charming enough. He doesn't like me at all. Wu Mei covered her face and said with grievance. You look pitiful, delicate and easy to bully. Which man wouldn't like such a small appearance? Director Zhou walked forward, squinted his eyes and pinched her chin, making Wu Mei raise her head stiffly. Director Zhou, but Xiao Xiao already has a girlfriend. He has someone else in his heart. Maybe he is not that interested in me. Wu Mei didn't dare to move. She could only maintain this position with her head stiffened and said, If he is not interested, can't you make him interested? Wu Mei bit her lower lip. Director Zhou, Xiao Xiao is too good looking. No woman or man is better looking than him. He must be tired of looking at me. I can't attract his attention at all. Why don't you take advantage of his weakness? I think he likes to protect you. Director Zhou shook off Wu Mei's chin and turned back to sit on the sofa. Wu Mei just knelt in front of him. According to my observation, Xiao Xiao is a righteous person. If you really can't make him like you, then try to create more misunderstandings. It would be best if Yanran could see that you two are doing something indescribable. You have to remember that there is no man who doesn't like to cheat, but women can't tolerate it. Do your job well. If you don't do it well, you know the consequences. Wu Mei's whole body trembled. She didn't want to remember the punishment she had received. She looked at Director Zhou's extremely charming face and aura. Wasn't she attracted to him in the beginning? She didn't expect to become his tool. She didn't expect that her charm was almost zero in front of Xiao Xiao. She tried several times but failed. She didn't take advantage of the opportunities Director Zhou arranged for her. It seemed that she had to be ruthless. Yanran had recently wiped out the remaining forces of the Eastern aristocratic family. Elder Yi and Ming Tian disappeared directly, and the only person left in the Eastern aristocratic family who had spiritual power was Yi Xuanfei. But after losing her spiritual power, she could no longer control the cultivators below. As the elixir gradually lost its effect, many cultivators finally woke up. At this time, the spies deployed by Yanran finally came into play. They kept spreading the evil deeds of the Eastern aristocratic family to the cultivators in the entire cultivation world. Without the obstruction of Elder Yi and Ming Tian, the news spread very smoothly. The cultivators were scared out of their wits by these evil deeds. They used to be part of it, but they were used by Elder Yi and Ming Tian for so many years without their knowledge. The cultivators of the Eastern aristocratic family were in a state of panic all day long. At this time, Yanran issued a new policy. As long as the crimes committed before were not particularly bad, and they didn't know about it, they could be lightly punished or let bygones be bygones. But if they colluded with Elder Yi and Ming Tian, after being reported and verified, they would all be stripped of their spiritual power. So Yanran was very busy. She quickly set up a monitoring team to receive reports and investigate the facts. In the past few months, Yanran had been running all over the country, getting rid of all the original dregs in the cultivation world. Those who were confused by the elixir, but eventually woke up were fined their salaries and given a small warning. As for those who were forced to participate without knowing anything, they were let bygones be bygones. Gao Feng calmly watched Yanran do all this. He knew that Yanran was very capable. Once again, he was glad that he made the right decision. If he put Yanran on the opposite side to protect the Eastern aristocratic family, he would definitely die without a burial place. Now, he only needed to deal with Yanran, and the world of cultivation would still be his. Everything could be done slowly. He was a patient hunter, and what he loved the most was to watch his prey jump to the highest point in his palm, and then be swallowed by him in one gulp. His policy towards Yanran was to moisten things silently. From his meticulous care for Yanran to his full support for her career, he wanted Yanran to be grateful to him unknowingly and rely on him. In addition, he would confess from time to time and make a strong attack that could not be refused. He believed that no matter how strong-willed a woman was, she would fall under his suit pants. As for Yanran's boyfriend Xiao Xiao, he sneered at him at first sight. What was the use of being handsome? What could he give Yanran? What a woman needed most was not sex, but a man who understood her. Minister Zhou thought that he had seen all kinds of women after so many years in the field of flowers. For a woman like Yanran, he needed to find a suitable soul for her. He stood by the window and looked at the stars in the night sky. He remembered that once when Yanran encountered the resistance of the remnants of Mr. Yi, several people almost succeeded in a sneak attack with his secret help. Although he knew that Yanran would definitely be able to turn the tide, his timely appearance on the surface gave Yanran great help. When Yanran felt his strong spiritual power, the brilliance in her eyes was 30% respect, 30% gratitude, and 40% worship. But there was no love in it. It seemed that he still needed to work harder. Chapter 269. After Xiao Xiao and Yanran finished their night, Xiao Xiao returned to Nanchuan, while Yanran continued her career. Wu Mei thought of a way to follow Xiao Xiao back to Nanchuan, and then shamelessly stayed in Xiao Xiao's Star Entertainment, saying that she wanted to become an artist. Xiao Xiao didn't have a good impression of Wu Mei. She made Yanran misunderstand him time and time again, and directly ordered Zhang Daong to drive her away. But the boss was willful, but the general manager couldn't be willful. Wu Mei's background was very strong, and it was directly given to her by the higher-ups. If she wanted to survive in the entertainment industry, sometimes she had to pinch her nose. Xiao Xiao, under Zhang Daong's repeated brainwashing, could only temporarily let Wu Mei stay. But he directly told Jing Shu, "Don't arrange any programs for me and her. He can't afford to offend her, but can't he just hide?" Yanran directly flew to a small town called Yinchuan. Yi Zhuofan, an accomplice of old Yi from the eastern aristocratic families, fled here. She came here to dissolve his spiritual power. This time, she didn't bring anyone, and came here alone. She was now playing a game of cat and mouse. The mouse ran very fast, but under her relentless pursuit, the mouse couldn't escape. The whole mountain area was the only place he could go, and Yanran wanted to drag the mouse out of the continuous hills. This person had a high position in the eastern aristocratic families. He didn't have a clear position, but his relationship with old Yi and Ming Tian wasn't shallow. On the surface, he was only the financial director of Jiutian Technology, but in fact, he was the treasury of the entire eastern aristocratic families. After Yanran received many reports and personally investigated, she found that this person was very important. The ultimate source of all the crimes with the eastern aristocratic families was the missing money. From Yanran's investigation, it could be seen that the eastern aristocratic families had embezzled tens of billions of money over the years. However, from their accounts, it could be seen that the money was hidden in the accounts of investments, receivables, or other assets. In the end, the money went through a lot of transfers and finally disappeared. Previously, Yanran had investigated a trading company that was very suspicious. They had made a lot of fake orders and paid a lot of money to outsiders. Therefore, Yanran had always wanted to get the money back, but the key person had already escaped. After she told Minister Zhou about her discovery, Minister Zhou fully supported her and wanted to catch the person. Minister Zhou said carelessly, "We have to get the money back even if we have to torture him." So Yanran followed various clues to Yinchuan City. What Yanran didn't know was that Department Head Zhou didn't know about this person's existence. After learning the results of Yanran's investigation, he was more anxious than anyone else. He had to get rid of this person before Yanran. He originally thought that in the eastern aristocratic families, only old Yi and Ming Tian knew about their dealings, but this person was very likely to be one of the insiders. Yinran looked at the continuous mountains in front of her. She was sure that a few hours ago, a villager saw a man in a black jacket running here. That was the person she was looking for. The sky gradually darkened. It was already evening, but Yinran hadn't eaten yet. The mountains were not very high, and they were continuous. From a distance, it looked like a crouching giant beast that would open its bloody mouth at any time to welcome people who entered it. With a few ups and downs, Yinran jumped directly into it. She carefully observed the only entrance to the mountain. There was basically no road, only a relatively wide path winding up. It could be seen that very few people had set foot on it. At this time, on both sides of the blurry path, many branches were broken. It could be imagined that people who were running in a hurry would accidentally trip, or their clothes would be hooked. They would fall and crawl into the deep mountain forest, trying to get the protection of the giant beast. Yinran's calm mind worked quickly. She stopped, held her breath, and probed into the depths of the mountain forest with her psychic sense. An invisible big net spread out around under Yinran's urging. Some sensitive small animals felt something strange and began to flee. Several birds flew directly into the sky. Yinran sighed in her heart that humans' perception could never be compared with that of animals. She continued to explore and spread the net wider. As she expected, there was no trace of people near the only road up the mountain. The broken branches on both sides of the road were simply camouflage. It seemed that this person had some skills. No wonder he was the core figure of the Eastern aristocratic families. What Yinran didn't expect was that she overestimated the person who was running for his life. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Minister Zhou had already caught up with Yinran. In order to delay Yinran's footsteps, he had set up several camouflage around the mountain. Yinran quickly changed direction and ran towards another mountain range. Her figure could only be seen shuttling back and forth in the forest, like an eagle gliding at a low altitude. Her speed was extremely fast and full of beauty. In a few breaths, she had already arrived at the mountainside of another mountain. She spread her big net again, and the tentacles of her psychic sense crazily extended along the ground, shuttling through the dense trees. There was no one in the east, west, south, or north. Yinran frowned. With her speed, she should be able to find the target in this mountain forest soon. But why couldn't she lock on? Could it be that she had missed something? She simply withdrew her psychic sense and flew around the whole mountain forest according to a certain pattern. When she found the second suspicious place, she found that it was another camouflage. Yinran narrowed her eyes. This person was playing a game with her, but this made her more certain that this person must be nearby. She withdrew her breath and continued to fly at a low altitude. When she found the third camouflage, she found the pattern. This was a special tactical array. The four directions of the north, south, east, and west were respectively built with camouflage, and her psychic sense could only be included in the square ground between these four vertices. If she wanted to explore further, she had to break this tactical array. This was only a low-level tactical array. It could be seen that the person who came was in a hurry and didn't have time to arrange it more perfectly. Yinran sneered and took out the little star in her palm. A silver light suddenly appeared, and as Yinran silently recited the incantation in her heart, the little star slowly rotated in the air, emitting a faint silver light. Then it turned into 9 small silver swords, the sharp edges of the swords glistening in the night light. Yinran said, "Go!" And 4 of the small swords heard the bugle call to charge and quickly flew to the north, south, east, and west. After a while, they slowly flew back with the fruits of victory and returned to their companions with smiles. Yinran put away the little star. This thing was really useful. This time, the scene was obviously different. It was no longer a dense forest, but a road that was flattened by people fleeing in panic. Very quickly, Yinran locked onto a road that extended towards the northwest. She quickly dashed over, and sure enough, it didn't take long for her to see the target, who was fleeing in panic. Yinran threw a rope and tied Yizhuafan tightly. "Where do you think you're going?" Yinran's voice came from behind Yizhuafan, sounding like a demon from hell. Yizhuafan rolled on the ground and hit his head on a rock, bleeding from his forehead. But he didn't care at all. He still wanted to struggle and continued to crawl forward. Yinran walked forward and stepped on his back. Yi Zhuofan's body writhed like a worm as he looked at Yinran in terror. Don't kill me, don't kill me. I didn't do it. Do you think you can get away? Yinran's cold voice sounded. I'll give you two choices. First, I'll destroy all of your spiritual power and send you directly to jail. Second, you tell me where the money went and find a way to help me get the money back. Then I'll destroy your spiritual power, but I won't let you go to jail. I don't want to go to prison. It's death. I know it's unforgivable. Yi Zhuofan was like a little beast, whimpering and shivering on the ground. If you know it's a death sentence, why did you help them? Spare me. Elder Yi is our clan head. He told me to do it. He ordered me to do it. If I didn't do it, he would have killed me. Where the hell did he take the money to? Tell me the truth. Yinran increased the pressure on her foot, and Yi Zhuofan's bones creaked, as if they were about to break. Yi Zhuofan screamed, and his head was covered in cold sweat. After a minute he gasped for breath. I'll talk, I'll talk. Stop stepping, it hurts. Humph. Talk. It's to a casino outside the country. Yi Zhuofan was out of breath as he spat out these words. How much was sent? Yinran pressed and increased the pressure on her foot. About 30 billion. It's been quite a few years. Why did your Eastern clan open a casino outside the border? We didn't open it. The money was earned for someone else. Yinran never heard that money was earned for someone else. She found it strange. She thought about the Eastern clan's capital chain and couldn't think of any other possibility. While she was thinking, the pressure on her foot loosened a bit. Yi Zhuofan felt the pressure on his body lessen. He stealthily took out something from his sleeve. Heroin. I think my ribs are broken. They pierce my lungs. Let me turn around. Yinran squinted. Don't play games. Tell me the truth. Who did you earn this money for? She kicked him in the waist and sent him rolling on the ground. In that split second, Yi Zhuofan sprinkled some powder from his hand, and a sharp dagger flew from his other hand, aiming for Yinran's chest. Chapter 270. Yinran was hit by the powder and held her breath. She leaned back and activated her spiritual power. Just as the dagger was about to be deflected, a man jumped out from the side and pounced on Yinran. He pushed her to the ground and exposed her back to the dagger. With a puff, the dagger pierced through his back, and Yinran was directly overwhelmed by this sudden force. A heavy man's body covered her body without any gap. The man's head hung on her shoulder, and there was a force that could resist Yinran's spiritual power, suppressing her hands and feet, and making her unable to move. Yinran was shocked. In a trance, she smelled a familiar male perfume. She tried to tilt her head to see that it was the mature, steady, and decent Shangfeng on her lips. At this time, Shangfeng turned his head, and his masculine breath hit her in the face. His elegant lips brushed against Yinran's rose petals, and he whispered in the corner of her mouth, Yinran, I'm late. Are you all right? Yinran was so embarrassed that she immediately tried to push him away. After struggling for a while, Shangfeng finally let go of her body and rolled to the side. At the same time, she let out a hissing sound. Yinran sat up and saw Yi Zhuofan lying 5 meters away, bleeding from all 7 orifices. He couldn't be any more dead. Yinran checked and found that Yi Zhuofan's heart was shattered by spiritual power, and he died on the spot. Her hands trembled. In her belief, she would never execute a human being so casually. She also hoped to find out where the money went and hand him over to the country's law for punishment. But now all clues have been cut off. She heard staggering footsteps behind her. Yinran, I'm sorry. I was in too much of a hurry to save you. I lost control of my spiritual power, and saw him swing the dagger at you. My heart was in chaos and I didn't know what to do. Yinran didn't know what to say. She lowered her head and didn't say anything. After a while she said, Then I'll bury him. Department head Joe stopped Yinran. I'll have someone take care of it. You don't need to worry about it. You haven't eaten yet, right? I'll take you to dinner. The two of them silently walked down the mountain. Before they had even taken 2 steps, the sound of a heavy object falling to the ground came from behind Yinran. Yinran was shocked. She looked back and saw that the domineering man had actually fallen to the ground. At this time, she discovered that the blood on his back had soaked his clothes and was seeping out from the inside out. "Shangfeng, you're hurt," Yinran cried in shock. He raised his head and forced a smile at Yinran. "I'm sorry. I wanted to push you down, but I forgot about the dagger on my back." Yinran was so anxious that she couldn't care about anything else. She lifted up the clothes on her back, revealing her amber-colored sexy back muscles. Her tight back lines narrowed from wide to narrow, just like a high-end streamlined sports car, causing people to daydream. And on this sexy back, a dagger was inserted in the upper position. Blood flowed down the entire skin, drawing a spiderweb-like blood-red pattern. Yinran said nervously, "Shangfeng, why didn't you tell me you were hurt?" Shangfeng lowered his head and said with shame, "I'm not good enough and did something wrong. It's good enough that you didn't blame me. I didn't want to cause you more trouble." "Then you have to pull the dagger out now. Otherwise, there will be problems. We're still far from the hospital," Yinran said anxiously. "Then won't I have to trouble you again?" Shangfeng's voice became softer and softer. He looked at Yinran with eyes full of love. "How can there be trouble? You were hurt because you saved me. I have an obligation to take care of you," Yinran said while biting her lips. "Then your boyfriend won't be happy if you treat me, right?" Yinran thought of Qiao Zhao's jealousy, but she couldn't leave him in the lurch. She lowered her head and bit her lips. "I won't tell him. This is a normal treatment. It's not a big deal." "Okay, Yinran. Then I'll have to trouble you. Just treat me like a patient." Yinran then realized that everything was not that simple. She first helped Shangfeng up and sat him down on a smooth stone. Then, under Shangfeng's signal, she helped him take off his upper body. His perfect amber male body was strong and powerful. Time did not leave any traces on his body. Instead, it made him look more mature and sexy. Although Qiao Zhao's body was perfect, it was too white. The color of Shangfeng's skin satisfied most girls' preference for amber. His 8 packs were neatly arranged and extended to his lower abdomen. Yinran quickly closed her eyes and turned behind Shangfeng. She took a deep breath and said, "I'll help you pull out the dagger right away. Then I'll use my spiritual power to help you seal the surrounding acupoints. It might be a little painful. You have to bear with it." "Yinran, wait a minute. I'm afraid I won't be able to bear it. Can you come to my side? If I can't bear it, can I hug you?" Yinran was a little hesitant. She lowered her head and didn't say anything. "Yinran, don't misunderstand. I don't want to take advantage of you. It's just a request from an ordinary patient. This can also stabilize my body." Shangfeng's eyes were clear and without any evil thoughts. He looked at Yinran earnestly. Yinran took a deep breath and said to herself, "He's a patient. He was injured because he saved me." So she stood in front of Shangfeng and wrapped her arms around his shoulders. She held the dagger with both hands and said, "When I pull it out later, it must be vertical. There can't be any deviation. At the same time, I'll immediately seal the acupoints on your back. Remember, you can't move at all." Shangfeng nodded and gently hugged Yinran's slender waist. Then he said in a voice that only he could hear, "Yinran, your waist is so thin. I can hug it with one hand." Yinran's body stiffened, but at this time, she was riding a tiger and couldn't get off. She could only let him hug her waist. "I'll shout 3 times. I'll pull it out. 1, 2, 3. When Yinran counted to 3, she pulled her hands up. As the dagger was pulled out, she felt Shangfeng's body suddenly tighten. Then her body was instantly hugged by a strong force. Shangfeng's face was pressed against her chest. Her whole body was hugged by him. The force was so strong that her whole body was about to be embedded in his body. Yinran knew that it must be painful. She didn't care about anything else, and quickly looked for the acupoints on his back. But after all, she was holding on to Shangfeng, so she could only rely on herself to figure it out. Just when she finally found it and sealed the acupuncture point, she felt that her collar had been rubbed open, and Shangfeng's lips were crazily rubbing against her neck. Yinran suddenly pushed Shangfeng away and took a step back. She quickly adjusted her neckline. Shangfeng was pushed to the ground by Yinran. He fell to the ground and hit the wound on his back. Blood instantly spurted out. Shangfeng cried out in pain. Only then did Yinran realize what she had done. She quickly helped Shangfeng up and said, "I'm sorry. Shangfeng panted and said with a bitter smile, I'm sorry, Yanran. I was too rash. It was too painful just now. The fragrance on your body was like a sedative. I could only endure the pain by diverting my attention. I'm very useless. I want to learn from Guan Yunchang, but I can't do it. Yanran secretly scolded herself for being too sensitive. Her heart was full of guilt. She walked behind Shangfeng and checked his wound. She used her spiritual power to stop the bleeding again. This won't do. I have to find a way to bandage it. Wait for me here. I'll go down the mountain to find some gauze. Otherwise it will be infected. Yanran used her spiritual power and flew down the mountain to find equipment. She didn't see that behind her, Shangfeng had a proud smile on his face. He took back the phone that he had deliberately placed on the branch when he fell and opened the video he had just recorded. It was really memorable. Yanran helped him pull out the dagger, and he greatly enjoyed the soft body of Yanran. At that time, his two knees clamped Yanran's entire body in his arms. His naked upper body was close to Yanran's chest. His lips and tongue were wreaking havoc on Yanran's neck, and Yanran's arms were wrapped around him. She was still stretching her head forward. From the video, it seemed that they were very cooperative. This time bomb must be kept well. At the critical moment, it will be a head-on blow to her little boyfriend. Yanran, when the time comes, won't you obediently throw yourself into the embrace of Shangfeng that you admire? Fortunately, he had arrived in time and managed to kill Yizhuo before Yanran. He didn't expect that he would have exposed himself. It seemed that even the heavens were on his side. His entire palm still had a lingering fragrance. So soft, haha. When Yanran returned, she saw Shangfeng leaning weakly on the branch. His upper body was still naked. His muscular body was well defined. His head was slightly tilted, and his face was pale. Yanran walked up to him and asked in a low voice, Shangfeng, are you okay? Shangfeng opened his eyes and the corner of his pale mouth twitched. I'm fine, just a bit lonely. Let me help you bandage it. All right. Yanran picked up the long gauze and compared it to the front and back for a long time. She didn't know where to start. Suddenly, an image flashed in her mind. It seemed that she was also injured and Xiao Xiao wrapped her hands like a dumpling. Her back was also smeared with medicine. Yanran's head suddenly throbbed. Her head tilted and her body swayed. Shangfeng held her and asked with concern, What's wrong, Yanran? Nothing, I just have a headache. You probably haven't eaten. Let's hurry down the mountain. I don't want my queen of the cultivation world to tire herself out. His pampering words came out as natural as breathing. Yanran gathered her thoughts and focused on bandaging Shangfeng. Bandaging naturally involved touching. Shangfeng looked at Yanran's blushing face as she wrapped his body. He joked, Yanran, I've been touched by you. What are you going to do with me? Yanran got up and spoke sternly, Shangfeng, don't joke like that. It'll be awkward. Shangfeng leaned lazily on the branch. Yanran, my heart was stolen. I can't get it back. What do I do? Chapter 271. Yanran obviously felt that something was wrong with Shangfeng. He seemed to be confessing and teasing her, which made her feel a little overwhelmed. Yanran was a girl with a low EQ, but she was also a stubborn person. Her relationship with Xiao Xiao had once again entered the fast lane. She didn't want Xiao Xiao to misunderstand, so after sending Shangfeng to the hospital, she immediately left and devoted herself to her work. It wasn't until a week before New Year's Eve that she returned to Nanchuan under the repeated urging of Xiao Xiao to accompany him to celebrate the new year and attend the premiere of Xiao Xiao's movie. The school had long been on holiday. Yanran came back midway to complete the formalities. Her college days would be over in half a year. Now she was so busy that her feet didn't touch the ground. She didn't have the slightest intention to take the postgraduate entrance exam. But after she knew that Xiao Xiao had been recommended for postgraduate studies, she was sincerely happy for him. Xiao, you're great. Your academic qualifications are finally higher than mine. You've become a real top student. Xiao Xiao picked Yanran up and spun around 3 times. Aran, your Xiao will get better and better. I'll make you proud of me. Sure enough, Xiao Xiao was getting better and better. His first movie was about to be released. Before the new year, Star Entertainment made a lot of publicity for this movie. The premiere was scheduled to be held a week before the global release of the new year. And this day was the day that Xiao Xiao pestered Yinran to accompany him. The name of the movie was finally set as The Call. The Call was taken from the movie's male lead, Jiang Hao, in the radio station calling for everyone to stand up and fight against the evil forces. The call that echoed over the campus again and again aroused the justice in everyone's heart. It also positioned the movie as a rare and excellent youth inspirational movie. A 3-minute movie promotional video was played on the big screen. The beginning was the scene of Xiao Xiao saving the female lead. The two ran hand in hand through the corner of the street, while a group of gangsters with sticks chased after them. The girl's face was full of horror, and Jiang Hao, who had just arrived, was arrogant and fearless. Then the picture directly turned to the scene of Jiang Hao being beaten on the ground, and then quickly cut into everyone's expressions and lines. Some were frightened, some were vicious, some were weak, and some were begging for mercy. In the constantly flashing pictures, there was no end, leaving the audience infinite imagination. Next, let's invite the film's male lead Xiao Xiao to the stage. Yinran looked at Xiao Xiao, who was wearing a decent suit, and strode onto the stage. At this moment, the stars were flying, and the passionate music sounded. All the lights on the stage were concentrated on Xiao Xiao, making him, a moving luminous body, even more dazzling and dazzling. There was a thunderous applause in the audience. It was an affirmation of the movie, and more importantly, it was an expectation for Xiao Xiao. I like this movie very much. It satisfied my hero complex. The protagonist, Jiang Hao, from the initial ignorance, finally became the embodiment of justice. I think everyone should fall in love with him. I hope you forget that I am Xiao Xiao, and really remember that there is another kind of person in this world, and their name is Jiang Hao. And what I want to call out is that Jiang Hao seems to be far away, but in fact, he lives in everyone's heart. As long as you are willing, you are Jiang Hao. Yinran was full of pride for Xiao Xiao. Every word was said in her heart. As long as anyone was willing, they could be Jiang Hao. Although Xiao Xiao was the prince of the devil world, he had already influenced a group of people around him with his practical actions. In real life, Xiao Xiao was Jiang Hao. There were some premieres next. After that, they directly watched the premiere of the movie on the spot. This was the moment that Xiao Xiao was most looking forward to, because he held his first work in front of Yinran with both hands. He hoped to become Yinran's pride. The lights dimmed, and the movie began to play. At the beginning of the movie, the youthful Jiang Hao rode a bicycle to the school to report. He greeted the birds along the way, helped the old man by the roadside push the cart, helped the aunties who were dancing in the square adjust the sound system, and walked into the classroom happily. In his imagination, the campus was the most youthful and beautiful existence. He was full of expectations for the new campus life. He greeted the students around him very kindly, but gradually he found that there was a group of people on campus who always had their eyes on the top of their heads, and there was a group of people who always stared at the shoes. Since he entered the campus, because of his appearance, half of the people liked him, and the other half were jealous. Soon many things happened that surprised him. One day, when he was on his way to the radio station, he met a girl who was being bullied by a group of people. Without a second thought, he went up and beat the group of people until they were looking for their teeth on the ground. His movements were clean and quick. With a few cool blocks, coupled with powerful downward slashes and backflips, the director directly filmed it in slow motion. The live audience at the scene watched Xiao Xiao's movements and jumps with surging emotions. They were extremely excited. At this time, Yinran whispered in Xiao Xiao's ear, "Well done." The most successful thing about Xiao Xiao in this movie was that he really treated himself as Jiang Hao. Every time Jiang Hao encountered a character or an event that happened, his psychological state was vividly expressed through his facial expressions, actions, or the description of the surrounding environment. The audience could feel the changes in Jiang Hao's psychological state through Xiao Xiao's acting. Soon, it was the part where Xiao Xiao was abused the most fiercely. Someone next to him made a low sobbing sound. Yinran took the initiative to take Xiao Xiao's hand and pinched his palm hard. Xiao Xiao knew that Yinran felt sorry for him. His heart was like a gurgling stream, and it was warm. Then the movie gradually reached its climax. After Jiang Hao passed the lowest point, he did not bend his spine. Instead, he supported his trembling knees and stood up desperately. He walked step by step to the radio station with difficulty. He wanted to expose this evil to the whole school. At this time, Xiao Xiao turned his head and saw Yinran's eyes glistening with tears. Xiao Xiao couldn't bear to see her sad. He approached Yinran's ear and said, "Don't be sad. I'll fight back later." Yinran was about to answer when the custom-made phone in her pocket, which was given to her by her superior, buzzed. She opened it and saw only a line of words on it. It was urgent. "Come quickly." There was a clue about the money. Yinran immediately became serious. Just as she was about to get up, she suddenly remembered that she was watching a movie. She looked at Xiao Xiao apologetically and said, "I'm sorry, Xiao Xiao. I have something urgent to do. I have to go first." Xiao Xiao was disappointed. "Can't you go after the movie? It's urgent. Call me." After that, she stood up and walked out quickly. Xiao Xiao didn't even have time to hold her hand. He also wanted to chase after her, but there were still reporters after the movie. He couldn't get away at all. He looked at Yinran's disappearing back and felt really sad. If it was still the Yinran from before who hadn't forgotten him, she wouldn't have left on this occasion. The movie continued, and Xiao Xiao was no longer in the mood. The flashing pictures on the big screen were all his painstaking efforts. Yinran had really changed. She had become ruthless. "Brother Qiao, can I sit here?" Xiao Xiao's thoughts were interrupted. He saw Wu Mei bow and quietly walked to Yinran's seat. She squatted beside his knees and asked in a low voice. Xiao Xiao was absent-minded. "Sit down." In the second half of the movie, Wu Mei accompanied Xiao Xiao to watch. Wu Mei made a comment or two from time to time, all of which were praises. In the end, Wu Mei said to Xiao Xiao with tears in her eyes, "Brother Qiao, I think Jiang Hao in the movie is really alive. In my eyes, you are no longer Xiao Xiao but Jiang Hao." The movie finally finished playing under the melody of the theme song Youth. In the end, Xiao Xiao's magnified smile was fixed under the red flag. Wu Mei said excitedly, "Brother Qiao, I spent a lot of effort and finally got a ticket. The most important thing is that I can sit with you and watch the premiere. I feel that my life is worth it. This is your first movie. It's your painstaking effort and deserves everyone's attention. Brother Qiao, Jiang Hao, you are really good at acting." Wu Mei's words made Xiao Xiao's mouth more bitter. He should have been happy. If it was Yinran who said that to him, he would be so happy. However, at least there was someone with him, and he didn't have to watch the whole movie alone. "I'll go back to attend the press conference later. After that, there will be a dinner party. You can come with me." Xiao Xiao went directly to the press conference after he finished speaking. Wu Mei finally smiled proudly. Yinran rushed to the address given by the superior. It was the manor where she lived last time. The damaged house was repaired again. It was almost rebuilt on the spot, but it was more luxurious and modern. Yinran rushed in. The superior was standing in the living room drinking tea. When he saw Yinran, he smiled ambiguously. "Yinran, I'm really sorry. I don't know if you are busy, but this person is too important. I'm afraid it will be too late in a while." "Superior, you are my leader. There must be something important. I will come no matter how busy I am." Yinran replied respectfully. Yinran followed the superior to the basement of the building. There was nothing in the room except for a person curled up on the ground. This was an ordinary young man. He looked very ordinary and wouldn't leave any impression in a crowd. "I spent a lot of effort to find this person. He is the real person in charge of the trading company." The superior pointed at the man on the ground. Yinran's eyes shined. This was the clue she had been following. Ever since Yi Zhuofan died, she thought this lead was broken. She searched everywhere, but found no good news. Yi Zhuofan's words made her suspicious. Who is the real mastermind behind all this? The man on the ground heard the door open and immediately sat up. When he saw the person who came, his eyes showed fear. "Don't kill me, don't kill me. I beg you. I will tell you everything." Chapter 272. Go ahead. Tell me everything you know. If you're wrong, don't even think about walking out of this room. His superior warned him coldly. Yinran carefully observed the man. There were no visible wounds on his body, but his right calf was hanging on the ground at an unimaginable angle. Although he was sitting, his right calf was turned outwards. His left hand's pinky and middle finger couldn't be clenched into a fist. It was obvious they were broken. Yinran tilted her head and asked, "Is he human?" "No, he's a cultivator. I already dissolved his spiritual power." Yinran nodded. "Speak." "We're a shell company set up by the Eastern clan. Our main business is international trade, but in fact, we send money abroad through fake foreign trade orders. To put it bluntly, we're just a bank." "How much have you transferred in total?" 30 to 40 billion over the years. "Where did the money go?" "The money went to a casino outside the country, but we don't know where the money went." "Who contacted you?" "Usually, Ming Tian contacted me directly, or Yi Fan. Occasionally, Elder Yi gave me orders." "Don't you know this is illegal?" The man sitting on the ground smiled bitterly. "Wealth comes from danger. Who doesn't want to make more money? But I heard that Elder Yi didn't make much from it. He was helping a higher-up do this, mainly because that higher-up was greedy." "Which higher-up?" Yinran stared at the man's eyes. "If I tell you, you must protect my life and send me abroad. Otherwise, I'll die a horrible death." The man on the ground suddenly became hysterical. Yinran looked at her superior. Her superior spoke. "If you tell us the truth, we can guarantee your life. I don't know if you know him, but it's a department head surnamed Tian. He seems to have been in charge of the cultivation world." Yinran was shocked. She had heard her grandfather mention this minister Tian before. He used to be the leader of their cultivation world. At this time, Shangfeng suddenly flicked his finger, and his spiritual power flew out, directly hitting that person's knee. The man on the ground let out a blood-curdling scream. His knees were trembling, and his whole body was shaking like a sieve. His superior said, "You actually dare to slander Minister Tian? Are you tired of living?" It took a long time for the man on the ground to recover. He shouted even more wildly, "It's him. I'm not mistaken. Elder Yi and the others had a few meetings before. I heard them secretly. You said you would save my life. Why are you torturing me now? I'm just an ordinary human. Shouldn't you protect me?" She stared at Yinran and Shangfeng with resentment. Shangfeng wanted to seal his mouth, but Yinran grabbed his hand and said, "I think what he said might be true. I know this Minister Tian." Shangfeng grabbed Yinran and said, "Let's talk outside." Then he waved his sleeve, and the man on the ground fainted. The two went back to the living room. Shangfeng poured a cup of tea for Yinran and said, "This Minister Tian is my predecessor. It's reasonable to say that he's my leader. I don't believe he would do such a thing. You can't judge a book by its cover. This person has been in charge of the cultivation world. If he has any bad intentions and hits it off with the Eastern aristocratic family, it's easy for him to do something." Yinran pinched her eyebrows and said, "If that's the case, I really don't know what to do." This was what Shangfeng wanted to hear from Yinran. He didn't find someone to put on this show for nothing. "Yinran, don't worry. Although you don't have many methods, I'll definitely report his crimes." The case of the Eastern aristocratic family was very praised by the higher-ups. They said they would give you a reward. But now it's difficult. Since Minister Tian was held accountable, he directly applied for retirement. He's currently abroad. Yinran angrily punched the sofa and said, "It seems that he's now guarding his casino outside the country and living a happy life. Now we only have witnesses and no physical evidence. It's quite difficult to convict him." "You're right. It's very difficult. But Yinran, as cultivators, we have to punish Yangshan. How can we let him go unpunished? I'll find a way to find time to go abroad. No matter what, Yinran, I will definitely help you get your revenge." The superior's words were sincere, and his intentions were stern. Yinran looked into Shangfeng's eyes and nodded gratefully. "Yinran, what do you think?" Shangfeng took another sip of tea, and suddenly changed the topic. "Think about what?" Yinran didn't follow his train of thought at all. "Think about me. Do I have the qualifications to be your boyfriend?" Shangfeng's gentle voice wanted to penetrate Yinran's heart. Yinran suddenly choked and said, "I'm sorry, Shangfeng. Don't joke around. I have a boyfriend. Yinran, I've told you before. Finding a boyfriend and getting married are two different things. A boyfriend is just a temporary interest. Marriage is a lifelong thing. You must find someone who matches your soul and has a common language. That way, your life won't be boring. I don't know about you, but Yinran, I feel that I found the other half of my soul. Shangfeng stood up and sat beside Yinran. Yinran, you're so beautiful. Don't miss a man like me who puts you at the top of his heart, because of a moment of softness. He grabbed Yinran's small hand and rubbed it in his palm. Yinran jerked back, but was held down tightly by Shangfeng. Yinran, you can't keep running away. We've been working together for a while now. From the first time I confessed to you until now. Don't you know my heart? Shangfeng's voice was getting lower and lower as it gradually approached Yinran. You touched me naked last time. You can't not take responsibility. Yinran bounced up from the sofa and stepped back, stammering. Shangfeng, I respect you as my leader, but I don't want our relationship to become like this. If there's nothing else, I'll be leaving first. Shangfeng's eyes were filled with hurt. Yinran, are you so heartless? Haven't I treated you well enough? What can that little boyfriend of yours give you? Hormones. Isn't that too shallow? If you want it, I can give it to you. Shangfeng used his spiritual power and pulled Yinran into his arms. Yinran was caught off guard and was caught by him. Shangfeng's strength was very strong, and Yinran couldn't move in an instant. Yinran shouted nervously, Shangfeng, let go of me. Yinran, I really don't want to. People say that between a man and a woman, one has to take the initiative, and a woman's heart will always be with the first man. Yinran, let me be your first and last man, okay? Shangfeng's bewitching words sounded in Yinran's ears. Yinran was so nervous that her whole body trembled. She had never encountered such a thing before. This was her leader, her respected elder. Why did it become like this? Shangfeng looked at the hesitant Yinran and suddenly asked, Do you already have your first man? Yinran replied reflexively, No. Shangfeng held her in his arms and smiled in a low voice. Yinran, you have a good impression of me. Follow your heart, okay? I will treat you with great respect. If you are willing, I will take you. If you are not willing, I will not force you. Shangfeng cast a love net and covered Yinran in it. Yinran only felt a splitting headache. Shangfeng's words kept echoing in her mind. She had a good impression of him. It seemed that, but she already had Xiao Xiao. Countless images hit the blocked meridians in her mind. If she hadn't been fixed in Shangfeng's arms at this time, she would have been rolling on the ground with a headache. She was in so much pain that she couldn't speak. She closed her eyes in pain and frowned. She just faintly heard Shangfeng say in her ear, Yinran, if you don't refuse, it means that you agree. I will make you a real woman today, the happiest woman in the world. After that, he directly picked up Yinran and walked to the bedroom on the second floor. Yinran struggled desperately in this love net. The surrounding air made her feel suffocated. She desperately bit her lower lip, trying to relieve the pain. She couldn't help but think of Qiao Zhao's evil spirit, which was a good medicine to relieve her pain. Yinran had a headache and didn't notice that she had been carried to the bedroom and gently placed on the big bed. Shangfeng had begun to take off his clothes. It would be her turn soon. Soon she felt a finger in her mouth. Yinran, don't be nervous. Look, you are so nervous that you are going to bite your lip. However, Yinran suddenly bit down. Shangfeng was caught off guard and was bitten directly. Blood immediately gushed out of his finger. At this time, Shangfeng realized that something was wrong with Yinran. He quickly took out his finger and found that Yinran's head was full of sweat. Yinran, are you so hot? Let me help you take off your clothes, okay? At this moment, Yinran's mind was full of Qiao Zhao's evil spirit. Shangfeng made trouble on her body and aroused her resistance. Although Shangfeng's spiritual power was strong, it was the same as Yinran's realm. Just now she was caught off guard, and it was not difficult for her to break free. Yinran only felt that her body was cold. Her coat had been taken off. It was a change in this position. The shackles on her body were loosened for a moment. Yinran's spiritual power suddenly burst out, and she jumped from the bed. She was in so much pain that she couldn't stand. Holding the bedside, she swayed for a moment. When she opened her eyes, she found that Shangfeng's shirt buttons had been unbuttoned, revealing his strong chest. At this time, he was looking at her in surprise. Yinran quickly picked up her coat and reluctantly bowed to Shangfeng. "I'm sorry, Shangfeng. I'm a little uncomfortable. I'll go first." Seeing Yinran running away from him like the plague, Shangfeng felt a burst of depression in his heart. His charm had been reduced to such a degree. Was he really old? He stood in front of the mirror and looked at his well-proportioned body. Although he was not as young as Qiao Xiao, he had the charm of a mature man. Sure enough, it was more difficult to pursue a good girl, unlike those who came and went as they pleased. However, it seemed that Yinran was not very disgusted. It was just that Qiao Zhao's weight in her heart was not light. It seemed that he still had to think of a way. This damn Wu Mei was really useless. Chapter 273. Qiao Zhao's press conference was quite successful. As the male lead, he naturally received a lot of attention. After answering a few questions related to the movie and striking a few poses, he excused himself early with the excuse that he still had something to do. Qiao Xiao came to the dressing room. At this time, there was no one inside. He threw himself onto the sofa with a lonely expression. He sat like this for a while. When he turned his head, he saw an open pack of cigarettes on the table beside him. Qiao Xiao never smoked, but at this moment, the white cigarette with the yellow, but seemed to have some kind of magic, attracting him to take out one and light it up. Qiao Xiao narrowed his eyes and took a deep breath. However, the unfamiliar smell of the cigarette immediately choked his throat. Qiao Xiao violently coughed, and just like that, physiological fluid seeped out of the corner of his eyes. At this time, the door of the dressing room was gently pushed open. Qiao Xiao immediately put out the cigarette in his hand. When he saw the person who came in, he saw a delicate face. It was Wu Mei. Qiao Xiao continued to lazily lie on the sofa without making a sound. "Brother Qiao, I've been looking everywhere for you. They said that your press conference is over, and you can go eat." Wu Mei looked at Qiao Xiao listlessly and said softly, "N." Qiao Xiao weakly replied, "Brother Qiao, are you not feeling well? Do you want me to give you a massage? I've learned it before." Wu Mei saw that Qiao Xiao did not object. She directly sat down beside Qiao Zhao's head and put her thighs under his head. Her two hands gently massaged his temples, one stroke after another. The intensity was moderate, allowing Qiao Xiao to comfortably close his eyes. "Brother Qiao, let me massage your shoulders again." Wu Mei paused for a moment and directly pinched Qiao Zhao's shoulders with both hands. Her two small hands were like powerful little hammers, hammering, pinching, and drilling on Qiao Zhao's shoulders. Wu Mei did not speak. She just focused on the work at hand. In the dressing room, other than the sound of Wu Mei's hands touching Qiao Zhao's shoulders, there was only Qiao Zhao's light breathing. Yinran endured her headache and came back to find Qiao Xiao. After searching for a long time, she pushed open the dressing room door and saw this scene. Just as she was about to speak, she saw Wu Mei quickly put her index finger to her mouth and then pointed at Qiao Xiao, meaning that Qiao Xiao was asleep. She signaled Yinran not to make a sound and then continued with her work. A faint smile hung on Wu Mei's face. It was serene and peaceful, and Qiao Xiao, who was leaning on her thighs, was as perfect as a sleeping prince. This scene was too beautiful. It deeply stimulated Yinran. The faint smell of smoke in the room made her headache worse. She suddenly felt that she was an outsider. She endured the pain and closed the door of the dressing room. She just sat opposite the dressing room and leaned against the wall with her eyes closed. She didn't know what she was waiting for, but she didn't want to be too far away from Qiao Xiao. She convinced herself that Qiao Zhao's magic was her antidote. After a while, Qiao Xiao woke up. He opened his eyes and found that Wu Mei was still massaging his shoulders. He sat up and said, "Thank you. I feel much better. Let's go eat." Wu Mei nodded obediently and followed Qiao Xiao out. "Qiao Xiao, Yinran came to see you just now." The bracelet that Qiao Xiao had finally picked up hurriedly said. The interaction between Qiao Xiao and Yinran at the premiere made Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming feel like they were being strangled. The memory of being abandoned last time was still fresh in their minds. They didn't want to be abandoned again for no reason. Who knew if their master would remember to pick them up again? Xiao Zhao's footsteps paused. Where is she? I don't know. When she came, she found you asleep. Wu Mei was massaging you, so she went out. She seemed very unhappy. Xiao Zhao's heart tightened. However, Yanran directly abandoned his premiere in the afternoon. It was really wrong. She couldn't wait even if there was something important. Yanran's way of doing things really made Xiao Zhao's heart cold. He knew that Yanran had lost her memory, but this couldn't be used as an excuse to hurt him. Unfortunately, as soon as Xiao Xiao came out of the room, he was immediately invited to a banquet by the staff. Xiao Xiao looked around and didn't see Yanran's figure. His heart was filled with anger. It was such a freak combination of factors. When he looked from the entrance of the dressing room to the opposite side, a round pillar blocked his line of sight. He missed the best opportunity for Xiao Xiao and Yanran to explain. There were about 6 tables in the banquet, and all of them were important figures and media reporters. Xiao Xiao had to socialize. However, he seemed to have something on his mind that night, so he drank to drown his sorrows. He didn't refuse anyone's toast. However, because of this, everyone saw that Xiao Xiao was so forthright, so more people came to propose a toast to the handsome guy. Xiao Xiao had a perfect smile on his face. He said some polite words and drank 1 cup after another. Jing Shu accompanied him and said worriedly, "Boss, you drank almost 2 caddies of white wine. Take it easy." Wu Mei came out of nowhere and pulled Jing Shu to the side. "Today is Brother Qiao's first movie. He's happy. Let him drink. I'll watch over him later. Sister Shu, you go do your work." Jing Shu and Zhang Diang were really busy. Everything needed to be taken care of. Therefore, she had to entrust Xiao Xiao to Wu Mei, and told her in every possible way that she couldn't let anything happen to the boss. However, not long after Jing Shu left, Xiao Xiao felt uncomfortable. His stomach was churning, making him want to vomit. He forced himself to be calm, and went to the bathroom. He hugged the toilet and vomited. His heart was beating so fast that it was about to come out of his throat. After Xiao Xiao finished vomiting, he leaned on the edge of the toilet. His stomach felt better, but his heart was even more uncomfortable. He closed his eyes and recalled his recent interactions with Yanran. The 2 lovers, who had always been in love with each other, began to quarrel over small matters. There were misunderstandings that couldn't be solved, and the snowball was getting bigger and bigger. Although they made up after the last quarrel, Yanran's heartless feeling was really King terrible. Yanran no longer cared about him as much as before. Although Yanran said that she knew that Xiao Xiao was her boyfriend, the actual love from her heart was almost terrible. She always focused on her career. After the collapse of the Eastern aristocratic family, Xiao Xiao thought that Yanran could put down the big stone in her heart, but he didn't expect that he would become a spare tire. Why was this spiritual transformation pill so terrible? Where did it put his good Yanran? Xiao Zhao's heart was sad. He looked at the small cubicle he was in and felt dizzy. He really wanted to beg God to return his Yanran, even if he had to lose his devil aura. He didn't want Yanran to be by his side. His heart was separated by thousands of mountains and rivers. Brother Qiao, are you in there?" Wu Mei's worried voice came from outside the bathroom. Xiao Xiao wiped the tears from the corner of his eyes. He stood up and washed his face with cold water. The moment he raised his head, he felt dizzy. It seemed that he really drank too much. He held onto the wall and walked out of the bathroom. How could the light above his head turn? Xiao Xiao felt as if he was stepping on cotton. With 1 foot up and 1 foot down, he fell onto Wu Mei, who was waiting at the door. Wu Mei immediately hugged Xiao Xiao. She was worried that she wouldn't be able to get close to Xiao Xiao. She didn't expect that the opportunity would come immediately. She helped Xiao Xiao to the sofa in the next room and laid him down. "Brother Qiao, you rest first. I'll go get you a glass of water." When she came back with a glass of water, Xiao Xiao had already fallen asleep on the sofa. Wu Mei put down the glass of water and stretched her head to look at the corridor. There was no one. She quickly closed the door and locked it. She set her phone to selfie mode. Then, she directly went forward and unbuttoned her shirt. She put Xiao Zhao's hand on her face and his head on her chest. An incomparably erotic photo was taken. Then, she adjusted several positions and took a few more photos. each one bigger than the last. The most outrageous one was the photo of the two kissing. Her little tongue was hooked into Xiao Zhao's mouth. She tried for a long time, but couldn't pry open Xiao Zhao's teeth. Wu Mei had no choice but to caress Xiao Zhao's lips. She sighed as she took the photo. Such a perfect man had fallen into her hands. It was really worth it. Wu Mei caressed Xiao Zhao's smooth and white face and neck. She trembled as she prepared to take off his sweater. Xiao Zhao opened his eyes and looked at the blurry girl in front of him. He called out uncertainly, "Yanran." Then he suddenly sat up and hugged Wu Mei. He said painfully, Aran, come back quickly. I can't take it anymore." Wu Mei knew that Xiao Zhao had mistaken her for someone else, so she decided to make the best of it. Hugging Xiao Zhao's back, she patted her gently. I'm back. Xiao Zhao heard these gentle words and his heart was excited. He tightly embedded Wu Mei into his body, but his lips and tongue were frantically searching for the source of his thirst. Wu Mei was ecstatic. This man finally took the initiative. She did not hesitate to offer her lips. Her lilac tongue sang the prelude of joy. She was about to experience the most extreme pleasure. Xiao Zhao's lips had already touched his desire, but at this moment, a burst of spiritual energy penetrated through the wall. Wu Mei felt as if his back had been ruthlessly smashed by a large iron hammer. His eyes rolled back, and a mouthful of blood spurted out from his mouth, spraying all over Xiao Zhao's face. Xiao Zhao immediately woke up. He shook his head and looked at the woman in his arms. He was so scared that he immediately threw her aside. At this moment he heard Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming calling him through the bracelet. That's Wu Mei, wake up. The most tragic thing was that the originally locked door was somehow opened. A slender and enchanting figure walked in. Her face was as cold as 3 feet of ice. A spiritual power came over and tied Xiao Zhao to the sofa. Then, the figure walked to the phone on the side and flipped through the photos one by one. Because of the backlight, and Xiao Zhao's head was really dizzy, he could not see who it was. After Yanran saw the photos, she was so angry that her whole body trembled. She directly burned the entire phone with her spiritual power. Xiao Zhao used the light of the sudden flame to finally see that it was Yanran. Chapter 274. Yanran didn't know what she was angry about, but if she didn't do anything, she would go crazy. She didn't say a word and directly turned to leave. Her mind replayed the photo of Xiao Zhao and Wu Mei over and over again, as well as the kiss she saw with her own eyes. If she hadn't interrupted them, would they have already rolled together? Yanran directly went to the back of the mountain. Wherever her spiritual power went, the entire treetop was flattened. The wind was a little strong, so Yanran directly vented her qi on the wind and directly blasted her spiritual power in the direction of the wind. The wind seemed to have sensed it and quickly fled behind Bai Yun. Even Yanran didn't like Bai Yun. Waves of spiritual power blasted towards the sky until she couldn't move anymore, and her whole body lay on the ground. She felt an inexplicable throbbing pain in her heart. Her headache was so bad that she couldn't breathe. She pulled at her long hair with all her might, pulling out handfuls of hair, but it couldn't alleviate the pain at all. Devil Chi, I need devil Chi. She desperately rolled on the ground, knocking her head against a nearby tree trunk until her forehead bled. Yanran touched the blood on her head and knew that she couldn't be so willful anymore. She simply sat down cross-legged, endured the pain, and began to cultivate the hibiscus chart. When cultivating the hibiscus chart, Yanran's spiritual power would be concentrated at one point, starting from her dantian and wandering in each meridian. It would expand the original meridian and challenge the limit through her spiritual power, thus making the meridian more tenacious and resistant to wear. At this time, Yanran's pain was her limit. Yanran directly gathered her spiritual power and attacked the blocked meridians in her brain. This was something she would do every time she cultivated, but she had never succeeded. However, today was different. Today, she was in so much pain that it was really unbearable. The blockage in her head was as stubborn as an iron nail, and Yanran's spiritual power was like an iron hammer, desperately smashing the iron nail. She didn't believe that she couldn't smash through it. She directly burned the spiritual power in her body using the severe pain caused by the burning of her meridian to fight against the stubborn disease in her head. The flames formed by the high temperature were like lava blowing the bugle call, rushing towards Yinran's blockage. The iron nail was burned red, and as the temperature rose, a gap was opened little by little. As the last drop of iron melted, the iron nail finally turned into a pool of molten iron. Yinran suddenly screamed towards the sky, and the molten iron rushed along her meridian to other parts of her body. Yinran felt that her head was finally clear, and countless images and emotions rushed into her heart. Before she could digest them, the molten iron flowed down her meridian, burning the original spiritual power wherever it went. Yinran finally breathed a sigh of relief. Now it was simple, just like how she usually used the hibiscus chart to cultivate and challenge the limit. The molten iron dispersed in the meridian of her body was too little. Yinran's army began to counterattack. After a few rounds, the molten iron was completely absorbed into her body, strengthening her meridian. Yinran finally recovered her memory. Xiao Xiao, whose face was covered in blood, was awakened by the roar of Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming from the bracelet. "Hurry up, you're dead." Xiao Xiao staggered out of the room and happened to meet Zhang Deong, who had just returned from sending the guests away. Zhang Deong grabbed him, but before he could say anything, he fell directly to the ground. Zhang Deong was shocked and immediately sent Xiao Xiao home. Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming tried to wake him up, but he didn't wake up. The two book spirits looked at each other and said, "It's over. This time things have gotten out of hand." Just like that, this bitter couple lay in the back of the mountain for a night, and the other got drunk at home for a night. The aftereffects of Yinran recovering her memory still gave her a headache the whole night, but she stubbornly refused to go find Xiao Xiao. Although she remembered the Xiao Xiao she loved deeply, she still remembered the night that made her heartbroken. She would rather have her body hurt than her heart hurt. It was not until the next morning that she finally felt better. Those images were like poisonous snakes that constantly released poison into her body, causing her to directly resist facing Xiao Xiao. Therefore, Yinran went directly to another city to continue the reorganization of the cultivation world. She didn't even come back on the first day of the new year, not knowing whether she was running away from Xiao Xiao or herself. When Xiao Xiao woke up the next day, he found out everything from Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming. He regretted it so much that his intestines turned green. He actually let Wu Mei take advantage of this loophole. He washed his lips countless times, and only stopped when the skin was about to break. "Where else? Where did she touch?" Xiao Xiao shouted in the space. "She touched your face and your body, but it was through your clothes." Kong Xiaoming shrank his neck and replied, "What else? What did Yinran see? You were almost stripped naked by that perverted woman. And then you thought she was Yinran and wanted to kiss her crazily." Xiao Xiao squatted on the ground in despair and said, "Did I kiss her?" "Almost. You should have, but Yinran saved you." "Then what did Yinran do?" Yinran looked at the phone that was recording and saw the poses you guys made. She was so angry that she destroyed the phone and left. After hearing this, Xiao Xiao directly lay on the ground and said, "It's over. I'm not clean anymore. Yinran definitely doesn't want me anymore." Xiao Xiao lay for a while and suddenly remembered something. He quickly took out his phone and checked Yinran's location. But he didn't expect that Yinran's phone was turned off, and it had been turned off for 3 months. Xiao Xiao vented all his anger on Wu Mei. He directly fired Wu Mei, and Wu Mei cried and shouted, "I like you, I just like you. What did I do wrong? Disappear from my sight as soon as possible, or I'll send you directly to the police station. How dare you record my face? Do you want to die? Don't think that I don't hit women." Xiao Xiao directly beat Wu Mei up with his own hands, making this woman lie in bed for half a month, and all her thoughts about Xiao Xiao were gone. On the first day of the new year, Xiao Xiao's movie was officially released. The pre-sales exceeded 100 million, the first day exceeded 200 million, and the first 7 hours of release exceeded 300 million. This youth drama was constantly creating miracles. The quality of the movie was excellent, and the acting skills of the actors were off the charts. It was worthy of the public's appreciation. The movie was touching because it touched the soul of education, exposed the courage in the dark corners of society, reflected the distorted side of society, and caused people to think deeply about the origin of the current social vulnerable groups. Xiao Xiao, who played the male lead of the movie, Jiang Hao, had a temperament that was absolutely in line with the character. He was cool, cold on the outside, but warm on the inside. Not every star with good looks could have such an effect. Some stars only had a face, but lacked a cold temperament. Xiao Xiao, through his wonderful performance, conveyed the complexity of a young man's heart to the audience, and at the same time, let his heroic spirit stay in everyone's heart. They felt that Xiao Xiao was Jiang Hao, and Jiang Hao was Xiao Xiao. It was a living story, a live-action documentary. The successful movie made Xiao Xiao walk to the top of the entertainment circle. Since Wu Mei failed the mission, she had completely become an abandoned pawn. However, he didn't receive more punishment, because he finally made some effort to cause a misunderstanding between Yanran and Xiao Xiao. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the management assigned more tasks to Yanran, so that she didn't have time to see Xiao Xiao, which also left some space for him. Just when Xiao Xiao was looking for Yanran all over the world, he received a video one day. The video was sent by an unknown person. Zhang Daong remembered Xiao Xiao's eyes that day, and felt that he couldn't wait to die on the spot. Xiao Xiao directly disassembled his mobile phone into pieces. When he went out of his office, the atmosphere was very gloomy, and he ignored everyone. After that, he disappeared for 3 days and 3 nights. When Zhang Daong walked into Xiao Xiao's office, he saw that it was a mess, and even the desk was a pile of powder. 3 days later, Xiao Xiao, who acted as if nothing had happened, came back. He pointed to the office and shouted at Zhang Daong. "Which son of a b***tch did this to my office? Don't you know how to find someone to fix it? Are you looking down on me, the boss?" From that day onwards, Xiao Xiao stopped looking for Yanran and devoted himself to his work. However, he was obsessed with hacking. Yanran deliberately turned off her phone. She hid herself in a snail's shell and worked hard. In the past 3 months, she had reorganized the cultivation world into an iron bucket. She integrated the 4 major families in the east, south, west, and north according to the organization of the army. She personally looked at each cultivator, based on their past experience, their own cultivation, and her personal assessment. She fixed each person's post, fixed their salary, and formulated a reasonable promotion channel at the same time. She also set up a training school, and she was the principal. She regularly flew around the country to give local cultivators lectures and give them pointers to improve their own cultivation. Little Six had been following her all the time. Seeing that she was so busy, but there was no smile on her face, he couldn't help but feel anxious for her. "Sister Yanran, even a workaholic like you needs to have a rest. Look at how busy you are. Now you don't even have time to smile." The endless meetings and endless training made Yanran finally have no time to think about Xiao Xiao. She couldn't sleep well at night. As soon as she lay down, she would think of the things between Xiao Xiao and Wu Mei. She recalled carefully, as if there had been signs long ago. Xiao Xiao kept explaining that these women were the spiritual energy in his circle of friends. But spiritual energy should only exist in his circle of friends. Why did it develop into bed? Although Yanran had recovered her memory, she still had a headache. Every time she thought of that scene, she felt like her heart was being eaten by 10,000 ants. Her head would buzz with pain. She knew that only Xiao Xiao's demonic energy was the only good medicine to cure her headache. But she just didn't want to. She would rather endure it and have it flare up day by day than hurt her heart again. Little Six looked at Yanran and saw that she had lost weight. She was originally very thin, but now her cheekbones were protruding. Finally one day, he couldn't hold it in anymore. He asked Yanran, "Do you want to take a break and go find Brother Qiao for a vacation? I don't know this person. Don't mention his name in front of me." After saying that, Yanran continued her training, but from the continuous screams coming from the training field, Little Six clearly felt that he knew the truth. It turned out that the problem was with Xiao Xiao. And when he sent a message to Xiao Xiao to ask, He didn't expect that Xiao Xiao only replied with one sentence. Who is Yanran? I don't know. Little Six felt that he had encountered a collision between Mars and Earth. It turned out that the two of them were such good people. After going through so many hardships together, how did they become strangers? He looked at Yanran worriedly. What happened? Chapter 275. The relationship between Shangfeng and Yanran was getting closer and closer. Since he sent the video of him and Yanran in the mountains to Xiao Xiao, he felt that he had already succeeded in half. Now it all depended on his own efforts. He took advantage of his work to let Yanran report to him from time to time. He originally wanted to let Yanran report to him in person, but Yanran always said that she was very busy. After a few words on the phone, she hung up. Most of the work exchanges between the two were done through email and the original secret channel between them. He knew that Yanran was avoiding him, but Shangfeng knew that the moment when a woman was betrayed by her lover was the moment when a woman needed comfort the most. He must seize the opportunity to walk into Yanran's heart. However, his identity was a bit sensitive. As the leader of the practitioners, his identity was strictly confidential. If Yanran refused to come, then he could only secretly go. Yanran was now a few cities away from him. He didn't know if his arrival would bring her a surprise. At night in Dongchuan City, in a manor in the suburbs, at the time of the spring equinox, everything woke up, accompanied by the spring warmth, blooming flowers, and sprouting green buds. It was the beautiful moment when Yanran's school began its new life. All the trainees had returned to their dormitory to rest after the evening class. Only Yanran was still sitting in the room, studying the next step of the plan. The layout of the room was somewhat simple. In addition to a camp bed and a desk, there was only a simple bathroom and bathroom. The composite floor on the ground was hard to step on. It was not as comfortable as Xiao Zhao's high-end wooden floor. Not to mention, there were also those hairy high-end floor mats. This was the military base built by Yanran. As the headmaster of the training school, she had a very high reputation in the cultivation world. All the practitioners had a kind of heartfelt worship and awe for this strict and cold headmaster. Yanran ate and lived with them. She did not put on airs, nor did she enjoy any special treatment. Every day, in addition to helping them improve their cultivation, she would also give them ideological and political lessons. This allowed this group of young cultivators to slowly understand the meaning of their lives and find their own beliefs, which were passed down by their fathers, but had gradually been forgotten by them. Yanran's famous saying, "A person without faith is like a life without a soul." As soon as Shangfeng entered the military base, a quaint and solemn atmosphere hit him in the face. He felt slightly uncomfortable. It had been a long time since he had experienced this feeling. When he was young, his family also had this quaint atmosphere. However, after he became an adult and went abroad to study, many of his thoughts had changed. He had long forgotten the beliefs passed down by his father. He had just gone abroad to study. Other than his own skills, his family was as poor as a church mouse. He could only rely on himself to work. Based on the belief that he would not harm humans, he had been bullied and humiliated. He had been struggling at the bottom of society overseas like an ant. Once, when he was working in a bar, he met a few people who drank a little too much. They said to him, "If you perform a unique skill, the $100 will be yours." The unique skill they asked him to perform was to drink while standing on his head. He had seen other waiters perform it before, so he could only do it. The taste was really uncomfortable. When he was forced to drink the third bottle of beer, someone secretly peed into the beer bottle and asked him to drink the fourth bottle. He was immediately overwhelmed by the fishy smell and smashed the bottle. He failed to stand on his head and fell to the ground. The audience next to him was unhappy and asked him to continue, but he was so disgusted that he spat out all the beer. The ground was a mess. Originally, the people below were laughing and waiting to see him make a fool of himself. They did not expect that there would be no fun. Those people began to scold. "What a bummer. You, a little waiter, dared to resist. Don't you want to work here?" Then, they picked up the bottle of urine and forced him to drink it. He was pressed to the ground with his mouth closed and peed all over his body. Later, the group of people felt that it was dirty. After beating him dozens of times, they left. He got up from the ground, wiped the blood from his mouth, and secretly followed them. He followed them into an alley and used his spiritual energy to knock everyone out. He then forced the leader of the group to drink a whole pool of urine. After that, he took all the money from them. It was really satisfying. From then on, he was out of control. He gradually realized the benefits that spiritual energy brought to him. At first, he still had the belief of punishing evil and promoting good. He felt that he was doing the right thing. Not only could he live a good life, but he could also prevent them from harming others. Later, he gradually became numb to this method. Money came too easily, and the people around him slowly gathered around him. All kinds of sugar-coated bullets were thrown at him and stuck to him. Ever since he was attracted by the pure face of his first love, he did more bad things. He finally knew that as long as a girl had enough money, there was nothing she could not do. Money was too important. Later on, he met a few friends who brought him to a wider world. As his abilities increased, he was more and more valued. Finally, one day, he was brought into an organization and promised to repay him handsomely. However, the condition was for him to return to China and be sent to the upper echelons of the organization to work for them. Power and status were all at his fingertips. It came too easily. What he had to do was to find like-minded people to help him steal information and find money. With his hard work and the support of the forces behind him, he successfully became the manager of the cultivation world. Originally, everything was going smoothly, except for the incompetence of the aristocratic families of the East. However, he didn't expect that the situation where he could cover the sky with one hand would be completely reversed by a girl. Shangfeng's neck was now choked by Yin Ran. He was not sure if he could beat her, and it was not so easy to trick her. If he had not pretended to fully support Yin Ran, with Shangfeng's understanding of Yin Ran, he would definitely fight to the death. Now that the situation had stabilized and Yin Ran's attention had been successfully diverted, the next step was to see his charm. He saw that only one room in the entire manor was lit. From the thin curtains, he could see a hazy and beautiful girl writing at the table. After a while, the girl rubbed her eyes, moved her shoulders, put down the pen, stood up and stretched. A touch of white and tender skin stood out, and the enchanting figure was reflected in Shangfeng's eyes through the curtains. It seemed to be a little hot. At this time, the girl took off her coat, picked up her pajamas, and walked to the bathroom. It seemed that she was ready to take a bath. When Yin Ran came out in her pajamas, she was still holding a bath towel in her hand to dry her hair. Her face was red from the steam. The weather had already warmed up. Yin Ran directly wore a spaghetti-strapped nightgown that was above her knees. Her two slender beautiful legs came out wearing slippers. The picture of a beauty coming out of the bath is really pleasing to the eye. The bass voice in the room sounded with a smile. Yin Ran was startled. At this time, she saw Shangfeng leaning on her bed and looking at her with a smile. She quickly picked up her coat and covered it with her nightgown. Then she awkwardly asked, "Shangfeng, why are you here?" "Yin Ran, if I said that I missed you, would you believe me?" Shangfeng's gentle eyes flashed, as if there were 7 colors flowing in them. "Shangfeng, don't joke around. Can we talk about it tomorrow? There are differences between men and women. I'm going to sleep," Yin Ran said solemnly. "Yin Ran, everyone else is asleep. There's no empty bed for me. Only your room has a light, so I came. Can you take me in for a night?" Shangfeng pretended to be very pitiful. Yin Ran choked for a moment. "It's really not convenient." Unexpectedly, Shangfeng directly took off his shoes and went to bed. He put the pillow on the bed and slightly closed his eyes. "Yin Ran, I'm so tired. I just finished a mission. Don't drive me away, okay?" Shangfeng's tired expression and weak words immediately resonated with Yin Ran. The nature of their work was the same. Maybe Shangfeng's mission was more difficult than hers. Yin Ran couldn't help but soften her heart. "Then I'll give you my room. I'll go somewhere else." Yin Ran was about to go out, but suddenly, a strong force pulled her back. She was shocked and wanted to use her spiritual power to resist, but Shangfeng didn't trap her like before. Instead, he hugged her and put his head on her shoulder. Yinran, I'm so tired. Can I borrow your shoulder to lean on? Yinran listened to Shangfeng's voice, which was low and weak. Shangfeng, what happened? Shangfeng was silent for a while. Just when Yinran thought he would not speak again. Yinran, I almost died just now. I met a very difficult opponent. I thought I would never see you again. What kind of opponent? Even you can't beat him? Yinran wanted to push Shangfeng's head away. But Shangfeng suddenly hugged her tightly and didn't let her move. Yinran wanted to break free, but she heard Shangfeng say again, Yinran, at that moment I thought of you. You are my biggest motivation to live. I haven't married you yet, so I can't die. I won't take the initiative to violate you. Don't worry. I just want to hug you and understand the heart of a survivor. At this time, Shangfeng was very fragile. His body weight was leaning on Yinran's body, as if the burden of life had crushed him. Yinran was held stiffly. After a while, she raised her right hand and gently patted Shangfeng's back to comfort him. Shangfeng, I don't know what you've experienced, but I've also had the same experience. I've been in danger, I've been in despair. As long as you can get through it, everything will be fine. Shangfeng buried his face in Yinran's shoulder, and the corners of his mouth curved slightly. He took a deep breath of the lavender around him. It seemed that the bitterness trick was indeed effective. He raised his head, and there was pain in his eyes. Yinran, after I survived, the first thing I thought of was you. I didn't care about anything and came to you. I know it's very presumptuous, but I can't control my feet. I just want you to talk to me, okay? Yinran looked at Shangfeng like this, and it was really hard for her to refuse. Shangfeng, please take a seat first. I'll pour you a glass of water. After saying that, she walked to the table, took a cup, and poured a cup of warm water. Shangfeng looked at the enchanting Yinran busying herself for him and admired it. The whole room was filled with the smell of lavender. He stood up and took off his coat. He only wore a shirt and unbuttoned 2 buttons, revealing his bronze chest. Chapter 276. Yinran, can I take a shower? Yes, but I don't have men's pajamas here. It's okay, a bath towel is enough. I'll make do with it first. I'm sweating all over from the fight just now. After Shangfeng finished showering, Yinran saw that he only wrapped his lower body with a bath towel, and the water droplets on his hair slid down along his skin. Yinran suddenly felt that it was too eye-catching. Shangfeng, you'd better put on your clothes. It's not very good. Shangfeng looked at the clothes he had changed out of with disgust, and said with grievance, Yinran, do you want me to wear them again? Yinran was suddenly speechless. If you feel uncomfortable, can I stay in bed? Yinran had to nod, but seeing Shangfeng get into her quilt, Yinran felt uncomfortable all over. I must change the quilt tomorrow. Then Shangfeng began to talk to her about the missions he had carried out. Some of them were true, and some were made up by him. The purpose was to make Yinran sympathize with him, feel sorry for him, admire him, and thus lower her defense against him. His voice was low and powerful, and the story was moving. Yinran, I just want you to know more about me. I'll show you how weak and embarrassing I was in the past. The dim yellow light shone on the corner of Shangfeng's mouth. I don't want to hide anything from you. I want you to know everything about me. Only in this way can you make a correct assessment of whether you want to accept me or not. Shangfeng, you and I are in a superior and subordinate relationship. I respect you and admire you, but I really can't fall in love with you. Yinran quickly stopped him. Yinran, are you still thinking about that little boyfriend who let you down? He's too good-looking. Even if he doesn't seduce others, others will seduce him. Think about it, why did I divorce before? Men and women will drift apart if they don't see each other for a long time. The nature of our work is like this. How many times can you be with him a year? He's young and vigorous. Can he keep his chastity for you? I've been through this before, and I've already experienced the pain of love once. I know that we can only find someone in our system to understand and understand each other. Yinran, you have to think carefully. His words were neither fast nor slow, but they were like a heavy hammer hammering on Yinran's heart. She knew that her superiors were right. This was also the current situation between her and Xiao Xiao. The interaction between Wu Mei and Xiao Xiao was like a slap to her face. Even if she forgave him this time, would there be a second or third time? Just this time alone, she had tormented herself to the point of hiding in her tortoise shell. What about next time? Would there really be a next time? Seeing that Yinran was silent, Gao Feng took Yinran's hand. Yinran wanted to withdraw her hand, but he held it tightly. Yinran, I don't want you to go through the pain of love again. Look at my back. Gao Feng turned around, and Yinran saw that there was a long knife scar from his right shoulder to his left waist. Maybe because of the time, it had become very faint. This is the scar. When my wife divorced me, I was deeply shocked. I went to carry out a mission, and was almost cut in half. Yinran trembled as she looked at the scar. It was very wide, and it destroyed the beauty of the whole back. Gao Feng turned around. Yinran, you are still young. I don't want you to go through the road I once walked. And now I am mature. I know what kind of future I want to give you. In the whole world of cultivation, only I am worthy of you. Yinran, be my woman and marry me. I will definitely give you the deepest happiness in the world. Gao Feng's words were too infectious. Yinran was so excited by the scene he described that her whole body trembled. Her head began to hurt again. Xiao Xiao said the words marry me to her, but she accidentally lost the diamond ring. Could it be that there was really no good ending between her and Xiao Xiao? Yinran's eyes were sour, and a line of tears slipped from the corner of her eyes. Gao Feng was overjoyed. It seemed that Yinran had listened to his words. He gently wiped Yinran's tears with his fingers. Yinran, I hope this is the last time you cry for him. Let me take care of you in the future, okay? Gao Feng felt that it would be a pity if he didn't win the Oscar. He put Yinran's hand to his lips and kissed it gently. At this time, Yinran's mind was shaking, and she had a headache, so she had no scruples at all. At this time, Gao Feng added the last dose of medicine. Yinran, if you want to relieve your current pain, there is only one way. Yinran looked at him in a trance. That is to divert your attention. How? Gao Feng kept tempting her. As long as you kiss me, you will no longer be in pain. Yinran looked at the thin lips getting closer and closer to Gao Feng's face, gradually enlarging in front of her. For a moment, in front of Yinran's eyes, Gao Feng's face turned into Xiao Xiao's face, as if Xiao Xiao was conveying his love to her. But when their thin lips touched, Yinran suddenly realized that something was wrong. She immediately retreated, but it was too late. Gao Feng wouldn't let go of this opportunity. If a woman didn't force herself at the critical moment, then this man was too useless. Then Gao Feng's overwhelming kiss came down like a storm, drenching Yinran so much that she couldn't open her eyes. Yinran immediately wanted to resist with her spiritual power, but Gao Feng had long been prepared for this move, and had already suppressed it with his spiritual power. He kept saying, Yinran, give yourself to me, and you will no longer be in pain. Do you have the heart to refuse a person who loves you so much? Yinran struggled desperately, but Gao Feng's strength was so great that with a rip, Yinran's thin pajamas were torn apart by him. Gao Feng looked at the beautiful scenery in front of him, and his eyes were red. Yinran, you are so beautiful. At this time, Yinran's mind was clear. She only had one thought, and that was not to let him succeed. Yinran quickly chanted a spell in her heart, and the little blue star on the table suddenly lit up with dazzling light. According to the master's arrangement, it flew directly above the two people, and immediately put the head that was messing around on Yinran's body into it. Yinran pushed the person on top of her away, jumped out of bed and looked down. Her coat was torn, and the suspender of her pajamas was also torn. It was too dangerous. Originally, Yinran thought that Gao Feng was really moved by her, but after waking up, she found that she seemed to have been in an illusion just now. She knew that in the cultivation world, there was a long-lost skill called the illusionary mind skill. If it weren't for her strong willpower, she would have been taken down by Gao Feng. Yinran under Gao Feng suddenly disappeared, and his eyes suddenly went blank. He realized that this was a formation, which was why he didn't fight with Yinran before. He slammed his fist on the ground. All his efforts had been for naught. This Yinran was too difficult to deal with. However, he believed that Yinran was moved by him. Maybe it was because of the education all the time, which made her not so open. He was not in a hurry. He just stayed in the space, step by step, and there would be a day when he could make her fall in love with him. Sure enough, Yinran released it early the next morning. He looked at Yinran with grievance. Don't refuse me next time. Yinran's eyes flashed, and she respectfully sent him out of the school. 3 months later. Brother Qiao, we've been getting a lot of resources recently. Which one do you like? Zhang Daong rushed into Qiao Zhao's office excitedly. Qiao Zhao was very busy recently. After being stimulated by the video, he was obsessed with hacking skills. This inexplicable video made him dizzy for a moment, and he was so angry that he destroyed his mobile phone. He recognized at a glance that this person was Gao Feng. He and Yinran were actually. Yinran was sorry for him, but Qiao Zhao couldn't take this loss. So Qiao Zhao began his path of self-study. Yinran ignored him, and he didn't want to talk to Yinran. Although he was wrong, Yinran was also wrong. Therefore, Qiao Zhao decided to turn his attention to this area of research instead. He submitted the project to Professor He, and coincidentally, Professor He was also interested in this area of research. After applying for funding from the higher-ups, he waved his hand generously. Qiao Zhao, you can work on it with a few of your classmates. De Yang, I'm still a student right now. My studies are the most important. Can't I just let the artists under me do this? Zhang Daong wanted to kneel in front of Qiao Zhao. Brother Qiao, they came to us because of you. If you assign them to the people under you, who will care about you? We are Xintian Entertainment, not Qiao Zhao Entertainment. You need to think of a way to make the artists under you popular. Come, call Jing Shu in for a meeting. After the meeting, Qiao Zhao rubbed his nose, and had no choice but to draw lots to make the arrangements for the artists under him. He yelled at Zhang Daong and Jing Shu, "Who's the boss? Do I even have any freedom? I'm already your employee." Zhang Daong smiled brightly. Brother Qiao, it's not easy to pay employees. If you're willing to accept a few more jobs like Wu Mei, who has connections in this field, then it'll only be a matter of time before you become popular. Don't mention her to me. I'll beat her up every time I see her. Qiao Zhao twirled the pen in his hand. You guys had great reviews for your last commercial. If you don't want to star in this commercial, then continue to star in a movie. There's a pretty good script, and I think it'll suit you quite well. It's a period drama with a mystery. Fine. I still need to research my project. Professor He is still waiting for me. I'll film a few commercials first. Also, Daong, you basically disappear from the campus as soon as you start university. Will you be able to graduate successfully? Brother Qiao, don't worry. I'm a sports student to begin with. You don't have to worry about my degree. Isn't the point of getting a university degree so you can find a good job? I already have a good job now. Do you still want me to continue being a primary school PE teacher? Qiao Zhao thought about it and realized that was true. There were all sorts of experiences in the world, and Zhang Diang's path seemed to be the fastest one. You have the body of a sports student and the brain of a high IQ club. Zhang Diang chuckled. Brother Qiao, how can I compare to you? I'm merely hugging onto your leg and running towards the goal of owning a mine. Chapter 277. By the way, Lu Hui sent a precious box. He asked me to give it to you in person and open it personally. He said that a certain someone is about to graduate. Do you have some plans that you need to prepare in advance? Don't mention a certain someone. I'm annoyed when I hear it, Qiao Zhao retorted. Zhang Daong and Jing Shu didn't dare to make a sound. They had felt the falling out between their boss and Yinran. Now Yinran was their boss's reverse scale. They couldn't even bring it up. Zhang Daong quickly put down the box. Don't mention it. Here's the box. Qiao Zhao took the box from Lu Hui and slit it open with a paper knife. He took a look and immediately closed the box. Brother Qiao, what did you send? Why are you being so mysterious? Let us see. Unexpectedly, Qiao Zhao directly kicked Zhang Daong out. Then he sat on the boss's chair and crossed his legs. He took out the things in the box one by one and carefully admired them. This Lu Hui was really thoughtful. There was also a USB drive and a piece of paper with a few words written on it. Wedding night. Everything was there. The full set of equipment was something Xiao Xiao had never heard of before. Xiao Xiao looked at these things and felt bitter. If it was in the past, he would really feel that his brother had won his heart. But now it was all too late. Brother Qiao, you're about to graduate. The school is preparing to organize a graduation party. They want to invite you to perform on stage. Zhang Daong handed the invitation to Xiao Xiao. Looking at the exquisite printing, Xiao Xiao sighed. Time flies. He couldn't catch up. He hadn't seen Yinran for nearly 6 months. Must I participate? How much is the appearance fee? Brother Qiao, don't tell me you're thinking about money. This is your alma mater. You still have to continue your studies. You mean it's for charity? Of course it's for charity. I've already agreed on your behalf. If you really want to make money, I'll find someone to sell autograph photos and accessories on campus. Yuzhou, I'm always at your beck and call. Xiao Xiao agreed, but he only agreed to perform a street dance and let Zhang Daong train the dancers. There's no harm in going. Think about it. It's almost the graduation party. There might be a surprise. Zhang Daong ran away after saying that. He was afraid of being beaten by Brother Qiao. Xiao Xiao knew that Yinran's mobile phone had been switched on 3 months ago, but the two of them had been holding back from calling each other. However, Xiao Xiao's posts on his WeChat Moments and Weibo had increased significantly, and his fans were overjoyed. Yinran had developed the habit every day before going to bed. She opened her WeChat Moments and Weibo and saw that he was very busy. Today he was shooting this advertisement. Tomorrow he was shooting that magazine. It seemed that only when she saw that sneaky smiling face would her headache be better. On the other hand, Xiao Xiao would refresh the page countless times every day to see which city the person he hated was in. There were several times when he wanted to rush over and have a big fight with her. But when he thought of that video, he couldn't move his legs. His superior came to see Yinran a few times, but ever since he aroused Yinran's suspicion, he didn't succeed. She even erected a line of defense around him, not allowing him to come within a meter of her. His superior was driven crazy, but he couldn't do anything about it. He could only look at Yinran with eyes full of love every time. Yinran, I'm willing to wait for you for the rest of my life. Just don't be too late. Yinran finally came up with a nickname for her superior as an expert in sweet talk. Uncle Wu looked at Xiao Xiao, who forced a smile every day and felt heartache. Xiao Xiao didn't want to tell him what happened, so he could only call Yinran in private, hoping that she could come back to see Xiao Xiao. However, Yinran said politely to this respected uncle, "Sorry, Uncle Wu. I'm a bit busy right now. I'll go see you later." Just like that, the two of them spent the summer together. "Yinran, you must come to the graduation party. If you don't, our 3 roommates will be sad for the rest of our lives." Bai Shui yelled at Yinran. Lin Ling grabbed the phone and put it on speaker. "Yinran, I'm going back to my hometown to work. If you don't come back soon, I probably won't be able to see you again for the rest of my life." Dan Yao also said, "Good sister, no matter what, we've been classmates for 4 years. How many years is that fate? I don't want to lose a perfect full stop." Yinran's mind turned back to school. She hadn't gone back for a long time. Her family had urged her many times. Last time, her mother was furious and said that she had to come back. If she didn't, she wouldn't recognize her as her daughter. Sigh. Yinran knew who she was hiding from, but she probably couldn't hide this time. "Okay, I'll go back to the graduation party." Nanchuan University's graduation party was in an uproar, because they knew beforehand that Xiao Xiao would be performing. Although the celebrity was right next to them, they had never seen a live performance. "Milk tea is delicious. Brother Qiao is performing live. May I ask if I can book the whole place?" Library seat holder. "If you book the whole place, where can I book a seat? Why don't you say you booked the entire Milky Way?" "School hunk is my brother. Brother Qiao is my brother. If you want to book a seat, go to the back and line up first. You have to deposit the deposit first. Then, you have to register the number." Bunny ate watching spiders from above. "I've watched spiders for so many years and finally learned how to weave webs. Those who watched me that day and rode the spider web over, please register below." Lemon's guard. "I'll be good and wait for my brother Qiao to float past me like the wind." Where my heart wants. Did my wish for many years succeed? Your dreams can only come true if you want them. Brother Chow, I'm coming. Passerby. Although I'm just a passerby, can you give me a ride? I'm afraid that the campus will be congested, and I'll miss Brother Chow's beautiful face. Blooming flowers for you. Brother Chow is here. My flowers will bloom. Fans, open your flowers and let Brother Chow descend from the huge cluster of flowers. Yinran looked at the comments in the forum. Her heart beat faster. Xiao Zhao's fame had increased. There would be more people who liked him. Yinran looked at the landing plane. The scenery outside the window was still the same. She took a deep breath. Little Six, let's go. Yinran and Little Six each dragged a suitcase. They walked down the long escalator of the airport, passed through the security check, and exited the departure hall. It was not until they got into a taxi that a figure walked out from the darkness of the departure hall. He was fully armed and wrapped up like a dumpling in the summer. The people around him looked at him strangely. Yinran seems to have lost weight, but she's still very beautiful. Her waist is slimmer. Dumpling Joe said to Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming. Why didn't you rush up? Kong Xiaoming asked curiously. Aren't you here to pick her up? Who said I'm here to pick her up? I'm just here to take a look. Tisk Xiao Xiao, you're such a coward. I despise you. Kong Xiaoming said and made a gesture of 8 down. What's there to despise? If you encountered such a situation, you'd be worse than me. After that, Xiao Xiao ran 2 steps forward. He wanted to take another look at the succubus that he missed so much. But he only saw the tail of the car, leaving behind a cloud of dust. The graduation party was naturally held in the evening. The simple auditorium of Nanchuan University had already been decorated with brilliant lights. But today was different from the past. Because Xiao Xiao would come, the security was more than 3 times stronger. They had also filed a record with the Public Security Department in advance. But these measures were far from being able to stop the enthusiasm of the fans. Since the afternoon, the campus of Nanchuan University was crowded with fans from all over the country. They were all representatives of Xiao Zhao's fan club, who were qualified to attend the party. They were well-equipped, organized, and disciplined. Since the afternoon, they had been busy on the campus. They pulled Xiao Zhao's Ila Bao from the school gate to the entrance of the auditorium. A die-hard fan found a landmark building and stood there with a few big sacks. Soon, a long line was formed in an orderly manner. Many students passing by didn't know what was going on. After asking around, they found out that Xiao Zhao's fans had taken the initiative to make some exquisite peripherals to show to their idol. Nanchuan University also became popular. Fans crazily took photos at the entrance of Xiao Zhao's computer science department and in front of the library of Xiao's building. It was as if taking photos tied them to their idol. Hashtag Nanchuan University Xiao's building hashtag and hashtag Nanchuan University Computer Science Department hashtag were real-time hot searches on Weibo. Xiao Zhao's popularity had spread across half the world. At this time, Xiao Xiao was doing makeup backstage. His show was the first one to start. Xiao Xiaoyan was very happy. It was a memorable thing to be able to show off her ghost hand technique at her graduation party. Xiaoyan, you've done makeup for me so many times. Why are you still so excited today? Xiao Xiao saw Xiao Xiaoyan's hands trembling and couldn't help but tease her. Brother Xiao, this is an important moment in my life. Although I can't go on stage at the graduation party, I've put a perfect end to my university career. So today, I must make you beautiful and let everyone fall for you. Xiao Xiaoyan said and jumped up excitedly. Xiao Xiao couldn't help but sigh. Time flew. Fortunately, his familiar classmates stayed with him and walked down the road of life together. Many people went their separate ways and might not see each other again in their lives. Xiao Xiaoyan directly gave Xiao Xiao a youthful stage angel makeup. According to her, she must let Xiao Xiao have the best time of his youth. So, she had to make it youthful. The eyeshadow couldn't be too heavy. She had to use colored powder to brighten up the whole area around the eyes. At the same time on this stage, she couldn't lose her celebrity charm. She had to let the fans feel that Brother Xiao was out of their reach, and that he was an angel from a different world. Xiao Xiao looked at himself in the mirror. Indeed, as Xiao Xiaoyan said, He was like a high and mighty angel. Coupled with his stage costume, he was like Lucifer who fell into the human world. He was stunned for a moment. He was really a demon. Would Yanran like him? Chapter 278. At 7 o'clock in the evening, the graduation party officially began. All the actors and actresses from various departments were already waiting backstage. Xiao Xiao had his own independent dressing room, so he could not be disturbed by others. Xiao Xiao had been holding his phone the whole time, watching Yanran's movements. He watched as she left the airport and went straight home. Now, she had moved from her home to the competition venue. Xiao Xiao's hacking skills had improved greatly recently. He had already increased the precision of tracking Yanran to 90%. Now, he could clearly see that Yanran was sitting in the 5th row, slightly to the side. The jumping little red dot provoked Xiao Xiao's heart to beat at the same frequency. Xiao Xiao took a deep breath and called Jing Shu. Add a slow rhythm to my music. I want a solo. I'll send you the music immediately. Boss, are you serious? You want to change it at the last minute? The timing of the music won't match. Jing Shu felt a headache coming. I said add it. I'm in the mood. Why don't you let me show it? Xiao Xiao changed his serious expression and said shamelessly. Okay. I'll do it right away. The fans are probably going to explode. The security that was finally stabilized may be overloaded again. Jing Shu hung up and immediately went to arrange it. Xiao Xiao thought about the movements in his mind and prepared to be the first to go on stage confidently. He pressed his heart, which was beating faster than usual. The countdown on the big screen began. The host went on stage and looked at the packed crowd below. Every gap was filled. The host joked, "Is this the graduation party of our seniors or Xiao Xiao's fan meeting?" The people below all laughed along, and some of them even shouted Xiao Xiao's name. Your boyfriend is now a big star. Yanran, how do you feel now? Bai Shui asked excitedly as she pulled Yanran's arm. Yeah, do you have the feeling that your boyfriend doesn't belong to you, but to all the fans in the world? Dan Yao added. Yanran looked at the dense crowd around her, and even found it difficult to breathe. She sighed in her heart and said expressionlessly, he will always shine. Let me interview you, Yanran. As Xiao Xiao's girlfriend, what do you want to say now? Lin Ling used her hand as a microphone and raised it to Yanran's mouth. Yanran pushed the microphone away. I might not be his girlfriend anymore. Her 3 roommates opened their eyes wide and looked at Yanran in shock. No way, you guys broke up? Yanran's expression, she didn't say anything. The 3 of them looked at each other and pulled at each other's arms. They stopped asking and waited for the performance to begin. A few people on the side seemed to have heard them. Xiao Xiao's girlfriend? How can Xiao Xiao have a girlfriend? Are you guys joking? Every fan says they're Xiao Xiao's girlfriend. Pfft, why don't you take a look at yourself in the mirror? Xiao Xiao's looks only belong to the heavens. Ordinary people can't match up to him. Yanran listened to their mocking and didn't say anything. She just looked coldly at the stage. Her 3 roommates glared angrily at the person next to her. Bai Shui retorted, you guys are just saying that grapes are sour when you can't eat them. We are the real deal. Yanran pulled Bai Shui back. Don't say any more. She was not interested in these meaningless arguments at all. Her heart was beating very fast. Ever since she entered the school, she had seen Xiao Xiaozi La Bao from the school gate. He was in every corner, he was in every turn, and his voice was still in her ears. Looking at this familiar face, her heart could not help but beat faster. After being pulled to the auditorium by Bai Shui and the others, she began to feel nervous. They had not seen each other for half a year, and just one look was enough. They didn't have a few minutes to argue. The principal on the stage had finished his speech, and the performance began. The principal looked at the applause and cheers below helplessly. He didn't know if they were praising his speech or thanking him for the brevity of his speech. The host went on stage again. Thank you for your speech, principal. I know you can't wait any longer. Next, we'll give the time to Xiao Xiao, whom you've all been waiting for. As the representative of our school's outstanding graduates, he has already been recommended by the school to be a graduate student in the computer science department. He will continue to win glory for the school. He is the pride of every fourth-year student. Someone below the stage took the lead and began to shout Xiao Zhao's name. The sound wave grew louder and louder until the music started to play and the pause button was pressed. Everyone's eyes were shining as they stared at the stage. The crowd also had a tendency to rush forward from the back. The security guards were on guard and shouted at the scene, "Don't push. If you push again, we'll drive you out. No one can see Xiao Zhao." This trick finally worked. However, a few girls at the back were so anxious that they cried. They quickly asked the fans sitting in the front row to take some videos. At this moment, the whole stage suddenly darkened. A person slowly descended from the top of the stage. The most eye-catching thing was the pair of large wings behind him. It was about 10 meters wide. In the middle of the wings, an angel-like man lowered his head and slowly descended. He was wearing a bright white shirt with only the middle two buttons. The top collar was wide open, and a thin tie of the same color. As he descended, the hem of the shirt was blown up by the wind, revealing half of his white skin. He wore casual white street dance pants with tassels fluttering in the wind. He wore high flats. One of his legs was straight, and the other was slightly bent. His hands were spread out to both sides. Suddenly the music sounded. Xiao Zhao's head jerked up and revealed a devilish smile. The ends of his eyes were raised and beautiful eyeshadow rose up like wings. The color powder on his cheeks extended out infinitely, echoing with his huge wings. The big screens on both sides just happened to capture his big head picture. Yinran only heard the audience scream immediately. The girls around her began to excitedly stomp their feet. It had to be said that Xiao Zhao's outfit today was stunning. Yinran's little heart trembled fiercely. He was becoming more and more mature. After not seeing him for 6 months, that familiar face seemed to have grown a little. He also knew how to stir up the excitement of the fans. Just when he raised his head, his half-squinted eyes and devilish smile made everyone in the auditorium go soft. Xiao Zhao slowly descended to the center of the stage. He removed his 2 hands from the huge wings. The wings slowly rose up and finally hung high above his head. Just like that, his huge body stood in the air for Xiao Zhao's wild singing and dancing. 8 backup dancers ran up from both sides of the stage. They were all dressed in black, highlighting Xiao Zhao's white clothes. After they came up, they gathered around Xiao Zhao and formed a semicircle around Xiao Zhao. It was like a myriad of stars surrounding the moon, holding Xiao Zhao in the center. The fast-paced and passionate music sounded on the stage. Xiao Zhao and his dance partners moved every muscle and bone in their bodies to the beat of the music. Xiao Zhao stood out among them. Every movement of his limbs seemed to be extremely powerful. The rhythm was extremely fast, but he did not panic. Every small beat of the drum was extremely solid. Every bone in his body seemed to be able to move freely. As he rolled and jumped freely on the stage, he did all kinds of difficult moves. The whiteness of his waist was always faintly discernible, stimulating the eyes of every fan below. Xiao Zhao danced extremely hard, and he always deliberately walked to a certain side of the stage. As a result, the excited screams of the fans beside Yinran became louder. Looking at Xiao Zhao's wild singing and dancing on the stage, the lights shone on his face. His movements were sometimes fast and sometimes slow. It was a classic hip-hop dance posture with his legs slightly bent, and his upper body's shoulders swaying back and forth. A powerful arm waving seemed to beckon the fans below to go crazy with him. After this slightly slower movement, there were a few fast-paced chest shakes. Then he knelt on one knee and quickly slid to the front of the stage. All the fans screamed. They thought that Xiao Zhao was going to slide down the stage and into their arms. Several girls at the front desk had already rushed up and opened their arms. But they did not expect that this was just a dangerous move designed by Xiao Zhao. They saw that he supported himself with both hands, did a backward flip, and returned to the center of the stage. His move scared the security guards in the front row, and they immediately pulled back the girls who rushed up. Xiao Zhao instantly turned around and smiled. His right eye winked sexily, and he sent a flying kiss to the fans in the audience. Yinran's ears screamed from the beginning to the end, and her heart beat faster and faster. Looking at the evil-like Xiao Zhao on the stage, there was an indescribable pride in her heart. Her hands tightly gripped the armrest of the chair, and her body sat up straight nervously. She had predicted that Xiao Xiao would be the most dazzling star on the stage, and now he really did it. A sour and swollen feeling filled her eyes. It was a kind of pride. After a few minutes of music and dancing, Xiao Xiao finally stopped. Finally, with a difficult move, Xiao Xiao stopped and quickly went down on one knee, ending the crazy dance with a cool kneeling posture. He kept kneeling on the ground and did not get up. His backup dancers all left the stage, and at this time, the wings that had been hanging above his head slowly descended. Xiao Xiao stood up, wrapped the huge wings around his body, and stood in the center of the stage like a cocoon. At this time, the host went on stage. He waited for nearly 2 minutes, and the atmosphere in the audience calmed down a little. Today, I have the honor of enjoying the top beauty and dance in the country, and it is really worth it. It also added a thick layer of color to my university life. The wonderful life in university is unforgettable, and I think Xiao Xiao is also reluctant to part with it. So he took the initiative to ask for a solo on the basis of the original program. He said that this is for the most important person in his life. Do you want to watch it? The audience felt that this trip was really worth it. They did not expect that there would be an Easter egg. Xiao Xiao's solo was really something that they had not seen in a long time. The cheers of the audience at the scene almost overturned the entire auditorium. Chapter 279. Yinran, did he dance for you alone? Xiao Xiao is so romantic. Bai Shui grabbed Yinran's arm excitedly and shook it back and forth. Her fingers had accidentally dug into Yinran's flesh, but Yinran didn't feel it. She was shocked by the host's words, dedicated to the most important person in the world. Her heart raced uncontrollably. Was she still the most important person in his life? Or did he already have other women he loved? Wild suspicions grew wildly in her heart like weeds. Ever since she saw the scene between him and Wu Mei, she was no longer sure of her position in Xiao Xiao's heart. It had been 6 months. According to Xiao Xiao's previous pestering, he should have given up long ago. 3 months ago, she turned on her phone, but after waiting for 3 months, she didn't receive a call from Xiao Xiao. She didn't even receive a WeChat message. Yinran smiled bitterly and said, "Poor self-esteem." The lights on the stage suddenly dimmed, and the melodious and slow music started playing. The melancholy young man wrapped in huge wings slowly opened his wings. The audience was quickly pulled into a different mood from the excitement of the previous dance. Xiao Xiao was half kneeling on the ground, his body curled up, as fragile as a small animal that needed comfort. On the big screen, there was a drop of tears slowly sliding down the young man's beautiful face. At this time, Xiao Xiao's face was full of pain and despair. His eyes were slightly empty, and he was looking at the audience at a 45-degree angle. Who is it? Who made the angel who came to the human world so sad? All of a sudden, the audience's hearts were in their throats. Suddenly, Xiao Xiao lifted his arms and flew high into the air. His huge wings spread out, and the noble angel was carried into the air by his wings. After 2 revolutions, he landed on the ground again. At this time, he untied his wings, and a series of powerful movements made the sad angel come back to life. His arms grabbed the sky, and his whole body struggled vigorously, trying to break through the invisible shackles outside his body. He was screaming silently, and his eyes were full of pain. However, he was still desperately trying to take something out of his chest. With his series of movements, the audience finally saw clearly that Xiao Xiao was trying to take his heart out of his chest. With great difficulty, he took out his heart with great difficulty. He moved forward on his knees with surprise on his face, and raised it high above his head, as if he was offering a treasure. However, the next scene was that someone threw his heart to the ground. Xiao Xiao seemed to be frightened. He suddenly shrank back, and then desperately tried to gather his broken heart together. His hands were constantly grabbing something. But how could a broken heart be picked up so easily? Xiao Xiao knelt on the ground sadly, but he kept raising his hands above his head, holding the pieces of his broken heart. At this time, Xiao Xiao suddenly stood up and kept pointing at his empty space. He was shouting something silently, and then he pretended to push away the people around him. He stretched his right arm forward, trying to grab a person who was about to leave. However, his strength seemed to be limited as he was blocked by others. He could only watch helplessly as the person in front of him left. He knelt on the ground in despair. At this moment, the wings behind him slowly wrapped around this sorrowful soul. The solo was only 3 minutes, but the entire auditorium was silent. They all felt Xiao Zhao's pain. They didn't expect their idol to show them such a sad side. It was completely different from his usual image, but after Xiao Zhao's performance, it seemed so real and emotional. The music stopped, but the auditorium was still silent. After a minute, thunderous applause erupted. The sound of sobbing was endless. Even Bai Shui and the others kept wiping their tears with napkins. Yanran, aren't you sad? Lin Ling cried and asked Yanran, who didn't move at all. But the moment she turned around, she saw that Yanran's expressionless face was already covered in tears. Xiao Zhao's performance was over, and Zhang Daong and Jing Shu were crying in the backstage. They saw Xiao Zhao's solo. How could such a perfect man be so sad? Usually they couldn't tell. They only knew that Brother Qiao was joking and laughing, but they didn't expect him to be so sad. Xiao Xiao rubbed Zhang Daong's head. Why are you crying? You're a man. Even a dance can move you like this. Zhang Daong hugged Xiao Xiao and cried, Brother Qiao, no one loves you, but I love you. Xiao Xiao pushed him away and waved his hand in disdain. Tell me, have you had this thought for many years? Hurry up and take it back. Otherwise, we can't be brothers anymore. Zhang Daong looked at Xiao Xiao bitterly and continued to cry. Brother Qiao, you don't love me anymore. Jing Shu cried even harder. Who could bear to hurt such a perfect Brother Qiao? She sniffled. Brother Qiao, you just finished your dance. Do you know? The internet is already analyzing who broke your heart like this. They all guessed that it was your goddess. They all said that if you still like her, they would wash her clean and send her to your bed. If you don't like her anymore, they would drag her out and whip her corpse. Xiao Xiao was angry when he heard this. Which group of fans was picking on him? Spread the word on the internet. Whoever dares to not let go of this matter will be my enemy in the future. With that, he turned and left. He had important things to do and didn't have time to chat with them. Xiao Xiao quickly asked Xiao Xiaoyan to remove his makeup. Then, he wrapped himself up like a dumpling and sneaked into a car from the back door. This car was arranged by him long ago. The driver was Uncle Wu. He turned on his phone and saw that Yinran's signal was moving. He guessed that she wouldn't watch the graduation party. According to her personality, it was good enough that she could watch the beginning. This was also the reason why he put the show first. If he put it last, he was afraid that Yanran would have left long ago. He shook his phone at Uncle Wu. Uncle Wu, I'll rely on you. Today we will kidnap my future crown princess. Uncle Wu waved his hand. Young master, leave it to me. After Xiao Zhao's show, many fans left, and Yanran walked out with them. Bai Shui and the others wanted to keep Yanran, but seeing that Yanran was in a bad mood, they could only wave at her. They seemed to have guessed something, but they didn't dare to ask. Yanran walked out of the school and was about to take a taxi home when a black car slowly drove up behind her. Uncle Wu's face appeared from the car window. What a coincidence. Miss Yanran, are you going home? I'll give you a ride. Yanran shook her head politely. Uncle Wu, you can go back. I'll take a taxi myself. Uncle Wu insisted. Miss Yanran, there are so many people taking taxis at the gate. I'll probably have to wait for a long time. I'm alone anyway. Young master has already returned to the company. It's on the way. Yanran glanced at the car. There was indeed no one in the car. Then, she looked at the 3 layers of people surrounding the school gate and didn't insist. Then Uncle Wu, I'll have to trouble you. Uncle Wu hurriedly got out of the car and opened the back door for Yanran. Yanran was about to say, Uncle Wu, you don't have to be so polite with me. Uncle Wu pushed her into the car and slammed the door shut. He jumped into the driver's seat at an inhuman speed, and the car sped out like an arrow leaving the bow. Yanran felt that she was pulled in by a strong force at the same time. She was shocked. Just when she was about to urge her spiritual power, she saw Zhongzi Qiao crawling up from under the car seat. He trapped her in the seat expressionlessly. Uncle Wu, you're already so old. How can you be like this? Yinran didn't expect that Uncle Wu would also use this trick. Uncle Wu shrank his neck. For the sake of his crown prince, he didn't care about his old face. I'm sorry, Miss Yinran. I think you and young master haven't seen each other for a long time. You probably have a lot to talk about. Just pretend that I don't exist. After that, he raised the back partition and began to pretend to be deaf and mute. Yinran was speechless. She fiercely glared at Zhongzi Qiao. At this time, Qiao Xiao took off all his clothes. He was covered in sweat. Yinran watched him take off his clothes one by one. Finally, he took off his shirt and took a magazine from the car to fan himself. Yinran's face turned red. She turned her eyes to the side and no longer paid attention to him. The two people were in a deadlock. No one was willing to say a word first. When the car stopped, Yinran looked out. Well, in Xiao Zhao's garage, Uncle Wu directly opened the door and left the space in the car. Yinran simply opened the door herself. But at this time Qiao Xiao moved. He pounced on Yinran and pushed her down on the seat. The two people fought in the back seat. Although they were angry in their hearts, they didn't know how to use their spiritual power and devil aura. One wanted to go out, the other didn't want to give it to her. Just like this, they went back and forth, frowning and coldly facing each other. The two people vented their grievances in the past 6 months on their hands and feet. A second ago, Qiao Xiao grabbed Yinran's 2 hands. The next second, Yinran clamped Xiao Zhao's 2 legs. With a turn, the two people fell down again. They are fighting again. Are these two people too energetic? Kong Xiaoming complained to Kong Ming in the bracelet. If both of us cultivate, our energy will be great. In the future, after we get married, it will be very common for us to fight for 3 days and 3 nights. In the future, the two of us will have needle eyes all day long. Kong Ming sighed and explained to Kong Xiaoming. Qiao Xiao was stunned by this guy's words. Immediately, Yinran took advantage of the loophole. Yinran was already holding the door handle in her hand. Qiao Xiao finally couldn't help but be the first to say, Yinran, you are not allowed to leave. She heard the door lock click. Yinran's hand paused. She heard Uncle Wu say from outside the car, I'm sorry, Miss Yinran. The lock is broken. I'll go find someone to fix it. After that, she heard Uncle Wu's footsteps gradually fade away. Chapter 280. With Uncle Wu's help, Xiao Xiao was immediately confident. He was no longer disturbed by Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming. Instead, he directly pressed Yinran down. Their fighting style immediately changed. Xiao Zhao's eyes were full of lust, and his hands were even more unrestrained. He directly began to move in and out of Yinran's clothes. Yinran was anxious and blushed. Xiao Xiao, stop it. This is not fair. My clothes are all open. Why are you dressed so neatly? After saying that, he was about to unbutton Yinran's clothes. Your clothes are open yourself. What does it have to do with me? The two of them quarreled like 2 children. Of course, their hands did not stop at all. Xiao Zhao's hand was pulled out by Yinran. Xiao Xiao simply pulled Yinran's hand and touched his open abdominal muscles. Yinran hurriedly dodged. The air conditioner in the car was turned off. After a while, the two of them were sweating all over. Seeing Xiao Zhao's increasingly excessive actions, Yinran was really anxious. She struggled to sit up and then kicked Xiao Xiao. Then, she saw Xiao Zhao's movements suddenly stopped. He covered his thigh and shrank under the seat of the car. Cold sweat suddenly burst out on his face. Yinran only then realized that she had accidentally kicked Xiao Zhao's vital part. For a moment she was at a loss. She could only hurriedly help Xiao Xiao up. But Xiao Xiao was in so much pain that he did not even have the strength to stand up. Kong Xiaoming shouted in the bracelet. It's over. Everything is over now. Don't talk about getting a needle eye. Don't even think about marriage in the future. Xiao Zhao's heart was also pounding. This is bad. I can't think of anything else in the future. He simply lay on the ground and curled up his body, feeling more and more depressed. Yinran was frightened by Xiao Zhao's appearance. Xiao Xiao, are you alright? Does it still hurt? What does it have to do with you? Xiao Xiao calmed down and said angrily. This time, Yinran was anxious. Even if she didn't have common sense, she knew that this was a man's weakest spot. Is there anything wrong? Let me see. Xiao Xiao laughed angrily. Who are you to me? Why should I show it to you? Yanran didn't know how to answer for a while, but at this time, her worry for Xiao Xiao took over. She coaxed Xiao Xiao and said, if you don't show it to me, then let's go to the hospital, okay? Xiao Xiao curled up his body and nestled under the seat. In a low voice he said, if it's broken, then it's broken. No one wants it anyway. What nonsense are you talking about? After saying that, Yanran also nestled down and said in a low voice, how about I check it for you? Xiao Xiao looked up at her and saw that her eyes were full of concern. His heart was sour. Is this how you treat men? Is this how you treat your superior? Yanran was dumbfounded. Why would Xiao Xiao ask such a question? What nonsense are you talking about? What does it have to do with him? Haven't you been with him for the past 6 months? Have you checked for him? The sharp and unkind words came out of his mouth, also cutting into Xiao Xiao's heart. Don't talk nonsense. I have nothing to do with him. Yanran was a little angry. How could Xiao Xiao slander her like this? Didn't you enjoy it in the video? You even took the initiative to stretch out your neck for him to lick? That cheap look of enjoyment really disgusts me. Xiao Xiao roared. Yanran was so angry that her whole body trembled. Tears were rolling in her eyes, and her voice was raised by 8 degrees. What nonsense are you talking about? I didn't. What right do you have to make up these things to slander me? You and Wu Mei were kissing crazily. If I didn't interrupt you, you two would have already rolled onto the bed. It's all my fault. After I leave, you two can continue. Isn't Wu Mei better than me in bed? Xiao Xiao was also angered by Yanran's nonsense. He began to speak without thinking. Yes, she is better than you in bed. She served me comfortably. Unlike you, who was like a dead fish. The tears in Yanran's eyes kept falling down. She bit her lower lip and said, if that's the case, then why did you come to me? Why don't you be together with her? Even if I were to be together with her, I wouldn't be able to tolerate you being under another man's body. Let me see what that man has taught you in the past 6 months. Xiao Xiao had already gone crazy. He had been driven crazy by Yanran. He began to tear Yanran's clothes. Yanran kept resisting. You are so dirty. Don't touch me. Xiao Xiao also kept scolding. You are dirty. You have been played by another man. I don't even despise you. You are still not grateful. With a ripping sound, Yanran's clothes were torn by Xiao Xiao. It was this sound that pulled the two of them back to their senses. Yanran couldn't bear it and cried out. Xiao Xiao also had tears in his eyes. When he couldn't bear it anymore, he began to slide down. Why are you doing this to me? We used to be so close. I remember everything. How can you fall in love with other girls and fool around with them? How can you be worthy of me? She had only cried once in front of Xiao Xiao, and that was the day Xiao Xiao came out of the yin-yang array. But today, she had lost her self-control. She couldn't care about anything. What coldness! What high mountain flower! It was all nonsense. When the love was deep, the pain was bone deep. When the desire was strong, there was a sound. Xiao Xiao panicked. He hugged Yanran. No, I'm talking nonsense. I was talking nonsense just now. There is nothing between me and that little bitch. I was drunk that day, and she took the opportunity to kiss me. I thought it was you, so I fell into her trap. Later, fortunately, you saved you. Yanran, I'm talking nonsense. Kong Ming and the others can testify. After that, he hugged Yanran and cried, Yanran, I miss you so much. I don't know how I survived for the past 6 months. Why are you so intimate with your superior? What's with that video? When I think of that video, I want to kill him. Yanran, don't abandon me. Yanran also hugged Xiao Xiao's head and cried. I don't know what video. I really don't have it. There is nothing between him and me. I have always been yours. I won't fall in love with others. Really? Yanran, are you serious? Don't lie to me. I'm stupid and can't stand it. If you lie to me, I will suffer a fate worse than death. Xiao Xiao held Yanran's head and saw that Yanran's eyes were red and swollen from crying. Xiao Xiao was also crying. Bean-sized tears kept falling from the corners of his eyes. Yanran nodded desperately. Xiao Xiao, I only love you. This was the first time that Yanran confessed to Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao was so excited that he kept wiping his tears. The grievances and suspicions of the past 6 months were finally relieved at this moment. He hugged Yinran into his arms and really wanted to embed her into his body. Yinran, my good Yinran, don't leave me in the future. These days are too damn hard. Yinran finally stopped crying. She looked up and smiled. In the future, wherever I go, I will tie you to my waist. The two young hearts finally stopped crying. The flowers and plants in the yard also bloomed. Uncle Wu looked down from the window and saw the two figures hugging each other. He wiped his tears. The young master's hard days were finally over. After a long time, Yinran asked softly in Xiao Xiao's arms, "Are you still in pain? Do you want to go to the hospital?" Xiao Xiao lowered his head and whispered in Yinran's ear, "You are my family doctor. Remember to check me tonight." Yinran's face instantly turned red. Uncle Wu made supper for the two of them and smiled as he watched the two lovey-dovey young lovers finish eating. During the meal, Xiao Xiao reported his work results for the past 6 months to Yinran. In fact, Yinran had seen a lot of it on the internet, but she just liked to listen to Xiao Xiao talk about it. It was a kind of enjoyment to watch him beaming with joy as he told stories with exaggerated details. And Xiao Xiao was still the same as before. He liked to present everything in front of Yinran, like a treasure for her to choose and play with. After the meal, Yinran said to Xiao Xiao, "Ah Xiao, I forgot about you before. I didn't even watch your first movie with you. It's my fault. Let me watch it with you again today, okay?" Hearing this, Xiao Xiao fiercely closed his eyes. It seemed that his Yinran had really returned. Because of this matter, he had been brooding about it for a long time. That day, he had been drunk, and Wu Mei had almost succeeded. He nodded happily. After supper, the two of them sat in the living room and watched the movie. But just as they watched the introduction, Xiao Xiao felt that something was wrong. He pulled Yinran back to the room, but Yinran desperately grabbed the sofa. The TV in the living room is big. It's comfortable to watch. And Xiao Xiao forcefully pulled Yinran's hand away and directly carried her up. The bed upstairs is big. It's more comfortable to watch it while lying down. Just like this, under the smiling gaze of Uncle Wu, Yinran blushed and kicked her legs as she was carried upstairs by Xiao Xiao. Upstairs, Xiao Xiao put Yinran directly on the bed and turned the lights in the room to dim. After turning on the TV, the familiar opening music sounded, and the light from the screen shone on the big bed. But before Yinran could take a look, Xiao Xiao pushed her down. "Yinran, watch it later. First, make up for the past 6 months." When Yinran woke up, she found that the movie was already over. She pinched Xiao Xiao's waist. "The movie is already over. What are we still watching?" Xiao Xiao pretended to be suddenly enlightened. "Then let's watch it again." Just like this, the TV kept playing on loop until midnight. Yinran found a very strange thing. As long as she stayed with Xiao Xiao for a long time, her head would not hurt anymore. Xiao Xiao was very happy. "Then let's not get out of bed until your headache is completely cured, okay?" Yinran blushed and kicked Xiao Xiao off the bed. "Yinran, how dare you kick me? Did you forget that I almost kicked your happiness away just now? I think you're very good. I can kick you a few more times." "Nonsense, you didn't check carefully just now. Take a good look again." The two people fooled around for no reason, but it was the most normal way for lovers to get along. Under Yinran's insistence, they finally finished watching the movie. She finally affirmed Xiao Xiao's acting skills. Jiang Hao acted for him. Yinran said, "It feels like the hero lying next to her is Jiang Hao." Xiao Xiao was finally coaxed by Yinran. Only by getting the affirmation of his goddess could his career not be in vain. However, this shameless Xiao Xiao directly asked, "Is my bet skills better than my acting skills?" Yinran refused to answer. Xiao Xiao threatened her. "If you don't answer, I'll let you watch it again." Yinran had to pretend to be very innocent and replied, "My innocence is still there. How can I understand your bet skills?" After that, she laughed and wanted to escape the room. How could Xiao Xiao let her succeed? Like a hungry tiger, he pounced on her. "Aran, you're dead today." Finally, after a night of absurdity, the two fell asleep. In the end, Xiao Xiao said in Yinran's ear, "Yinran, I like the smell of your body." Chapter 281. In the luxurious room, there was a comfortable big bed that was 5 meters wide. The thick curtains only revealed a trace of spring light. The two exquisite people were naked, and only covered with a thin blanket. They hugged each other and slept soundly. The magpie sang happily in front of the window for an entire morning. The flowers on the branches in the courtyard had already bloomed in the wind, emitting bursts of delicate fragrance. The few flowers in front of the window shyly shrunk their bodies, closed their eyes, and turned their heads, not daring to look at the spring scene in the room. The temperature in the room was extremely comfortable. The built-in cooling system had already dispersed the original smell in the room, and the nose was still full of fragrance. The person in front of him moved slightly and opened her eyes. In a daze, she felt the darkness in the room. Her small hands couldn't help but feel around. She touched the remote control at the head of the bed and pressed it gently. The electric curtains slowly opened. An array of dazzling sunlight shone into the room. The person behind him was also awakened by the piercing sunlight. He mumbled and opened his eyes slightly. Then, he twisted his body and buried his whole head behind the neck of the girl in front of him. Then, his two hands began to misbehave under the blanket. The girl in front of him closed her eyes again and turned around. She shrank into the arms of the boy behind her and moaned. The boy opened his eyes and looked at the beautiful face in front of him. She was still very sleepy, and her pouted lips were slightly dry. He hugged her even tighter, and he couldn't resist the drowsiness. He closed his eyes and slowly moistened the girl's lips. After moistening her lips, the girl opened her thin lips, and their tongues intertwined. They kissed deeply, and he couldn't stop at all. Heavy panting sounded, and it played the music of a new day. When the two of them sat in the dining room downstairs and started eating, it was already 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yinran, I found that this way of waking up is very good. You see, you're full of energy and vitality. This is the most perfect day in half a year. Uncle Wu smiled and prepared a bowl of bloodbird's nest for Yinran. Miss Yinran, eat some bird's nest to nourish your body. Xiao Xiao protested. Uncle Wu, shouldn't you be nourishing my body? Young master, shouldn't Miss Yinran's waist be sore today? Yinran spat out a mouthful of bird's nest and her face turned red. Uncle Wu, we haven't gotten married yet. Why are you more anxious than me? Marriage is only for the sake of having children. You two were young before, but now that you have graduated from university, you are considered adults. Miss Yinran, you can't let young master hurt his body too much. After saying that, he left with a smile. It seems like Uncle Wu knows everything. Is he a roundworm in your stomach? Yinran stared at Xiao Xiao. Uncle Wu is my chief steward of the inner palace. These are all his responsibilities. Just get used to it. But what Uncle Wu said makes sense. We're both adults. Don't you think we should? Yinran pushed him back with a finger. In your dreams. With just a flirtatious wink, Xiao Xiao's soul was hooked away just like that. The two were finally done with being lovey-dovey. They sat upright, and still in the study room to talk about business. Yinran, why can't I sit beside you? Why do you have to make me sit so far away? I can't even hear you clearly. Xiao Xiao looked at Yinran, who was 2 meters away from him, and pouted. Ahem, now we have to talk about business. This distance is safer. Yinran regained her coldness, but the charm in her eyes was still obvious. Xiao Xiao simply lay down on the sofa, propped his head up, and looked at Yinran with a smile. He couldn't stop talking. Pretty like the peach of spring, pure like the chrysanthemum of autumn. Her eyebrows and the corners of her eyes are delicate, and her voice is gentle. All right. You're not done. Let me ask you, what's with that video? When Xiao Xiao heard the word video, all the smiles on his face disappeared. His whole body was as cold as ice. Humph. Seeing that he was angry, Yinran could only soften her voice and say, Ah Xiao, you have to tell me the truth. Only then can I analyze it properly. Xiao Xiao threw his phone to Yinran. See for yourself. Yinran opened the video and watched it from beginning to end. The more she watched, the angrier she became. She slammed the phone on the table. He must have done it on purpose. Of course he did it on purpose. It was to provoke me. Then how could you still be fooled? Do you have so little confidence in me? Who told you to turn off your phone? and ignore me for 3 months. Isn't that because of you? These words seemed to bring them back to yesterday. Yinran quickly stopped and sat beside Xiao Xiao. She hugged his waist and kissed the corner of his mouth. Ah Xiao, listen to me. That day, I was chasing a suspect. Before he died, he threw a dagger at me. Actually, I could have dodged it, but I didn't know when he jumped on me and took the hit for me. This video is the video of me pulling out the dagger for him. Why didn't you pull out the dagger? Why did you pull it out from the front and not the back? At that time, the dagger might have touched my heart. I was afraid that he would move, so I agreed to let him hug me. It was really just to pull out the dagger and stop the bleeding. Later, I found out that he was kissing my neck. I was very angry. This is the problem with the angle of the video. Yinran, you really make my heart ache. You're a girl. Don't you know how to avoid arousing suspicion? Ah Xiao, I didn't know that things would turn out like this. At that time, I was in a hurry. But why would a video be recorded? This is very strange. I keep feeling that your boss has bad intentions towards you. Last time at the cocktail party, I saw his provocative gaze. Does he like you? Did he confess to you? Yinran lowered her head. She didn't want to lie to Xiao Xiao. Yes, he confessed to me several times. Xiao Xiao couldn't sit still. I knew that he was a scumbag. He knew that you had a boyfriend. Why would he confess to you? How old is he? Is an old cow trying to eat young grass? Xiao Xiao, don't be anxious. He is my boss after all. But I won't agree to it. You're the only one in my heart. Xiao Xiao felt a huge crisis. There was a tiger eyeing his Yinran covetously from the side. He even used a moral means to sow discord between them. He was definitely a scumbag. He remembered the things that Lu Hui had given him. It seemed that some things needed to be planned in advance. Also, Ah Xiao, I finally found out that the real mastermind behind the Eastern aristocratic family was originally the big boss of our cultivation world, Minister Tian. He colluded with the Eastern aristocratic family and transferred all the funds overseas. Now he's already overseas. Our case can't be investigated anymore. This is also the reason why I couldn't finish watching your premiere that day. The boss helped me catch the key person. Then what are you going to do? Are we going to go abroad and catch him? I have that idea, but the boss said that he's going to catch him personally. Your boss is pretty good. He didn't leave these things to his subordinates. Instead, he's willing to do it himself. Isn't he very capable? Xiao Xiao asked sourly. His level seems to be higher than mine. Sometimes, I'm restrained by him and can't move. Well, Yinran, why would he restrain you? Xiao Xiao's heart was alarmed. There was one time when he was trying to save me. What about the other time? Xiao Xiao stared at Yinran's eyes, trying to get to the bottom of it. Yinran's eyes were a little fluttering. It was also a special situation. To save me. Yinran suddenly felt a little flustered. Although she didn't have any thoughts about the boss, the things that the boss did to her were right in front of her eyes. Yinran, you're lying. You're so capable. Do you still need him to restrain you? Xiao Xiao pressed step by step. Yinran immediately hugged Xiao Xiao tightly. You really don't have to think too much. He can't do anything to me. After a while, Xiao Xiao still couldn't calm down. Yinran could only comfort him again and again. After a long time, Xiao Xiao continued. During this time, I've been tracking your boss. I found that he's doing something very strange. Oh, what is it? I found out on the internet that his bank account often has transactions with foreign countries. Is this normal in your cultivation world? Yinran frowned. Generally speaking, it's impossible. He's a high-level figure. The flow of funds and property should be monitored. Are you sure it's his account? It's not his personal account. But after tracking it, I found that he has transactions with foreign accounts. And those foreign accounts are related to the ones you asked me to track. Yinran immediately sensed the abnormality. Her complicated brain circuits connected into a string. Xiao Xiao, send me all the information. I'll check it carefully. So Xiao Xiao sent all the evidence to Yinran. Yinran returned to her office and began to study it carefully. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, had more important things to do. Uncle Wu, help me prepare some treasures in the house. I'm going to propose marriage. Oh, young master, Miss Yinran agreed to your proposal. That's great. Uncle Wu was very happy. She did agree to this before, but now I can't let her know about the proposal. I want to give her a surprise. Uncle Wu, you do this. Young master, you don't follow the rules of the devil world, nor the rules of the human world. Will Miss Yinran agree? She's so busy. If I mention it to her directly, I don't know how long it will take. This Yinran must be brought back to our house as soon as possible. There are more and more people coveting her now. Xiao Xiao deeply felt that the crisis must not be escalated. It was better to bring her back home first to make him feel more at ease. It's best to have a few more treasures, so that she won't have the mood to go out and attract bees and butterflies. Uncle Wu stared at Xiao Xiao for a long time. Young master, it seems that you attract bees and butterflies even more. How could I? These women are a trace of spiritual power in my circle of friends. Uncle Wu, don't worry. The betrothal gifts will be prepared according to the standards of the devil world. Tomorrow, you will accompany me to Yinran's house. Chapter 282. On a sunny morning, Xiao Xiao woke up early. After confirming that Yinran's tracking red dot on his mobile phone had gone from home to her office. According to Yinran's habits, she usually went home after dinner. If she was busy, she would go home even later. Xiao Xiao dragged Uncle Wu to load the trunk of the car and drove directly to Yinran's house. He specially dressed up today and wore a formal suit. The tailored Italian handmade black suit, spotless Egyptian cotton white shirt, and light blue tie made him look fashionable. He was handsome and tall, which made Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming in the space drool. Xiao Xiao, you really look like a noble prince coming out of the palace today. You have the temperament. Even Uncle Wu wore a neat suit and a pair of shiny leather shoes. He looked hale and hearty, and the wrinkles on his face couldn't hide the smile. In the car, Xiao Xiao kept encouraging himself. Uncle Wu, what if Yinran's family doesn't agree? Young master, you have to think of a way to conquer them with your charm. I think they had a good impression of me before. I went to their house a few times, and they were very polite and enthusiastic. This time I came to ask for their hand in marriage. Will they kick me out? Xiao Xiao had been nervous. In fact, he wasn't sure. Good girls are like this at home. They will be strict. You have to use your true feelings to move them. Uncle Wu suggested based on his past experience. Uncle Wu, what if I tell them that Yinran is pregnant with my child? Then you will be kicked out. What if they ask my parents? Don't say this, so as not to scare them. Just say that I raised you since you were young. Just like that, Uncle Wu and Xiao Xiao swayed back and forth between uncertainty and encouragement. Finally, they arrived at Yinran's door. Xiao Xiao took a deep breath. Uncle Wu, should we give each other a high five to encourage each other? Young master, if you dawdle any longer it'll be noon soon. Others will think that you're here to freeload. Looking at Xiao Xiao's hesitation, Uncle Wu finally couldn't help but kick him out of the car door. The moment Xiao Xiao fell out of the car door, Yinran's mother happened to come out to throw out the garbage. Such a peerless handsome man suddenly appeared in front of her, startling her. Xiao Xiao hurried forward, revealing his charming smile. Hello auntie, give me the trash. Then he saw Xiao Xiao, who was dressed to the nines, carrying 2 bags of trash to the trash can at the door. She threw them in, and then ran back in. Yinran's mother was stunned when she saw this. She felt that it was a sin to let such a delicate person help her throw out the garbage. Oh, it's Xiao Xiao. I was wondering where such a handsome person came from. Come in. You haven't been here for almost half a year, right? Ah yes, Xiao Xiao said embarrassedly. Auntie, this is our family's housekeeper, Uncle Wu. Come in. Yinran's mother immediately smiled like a flower. She was happy to see Xiao Xiao. This was the prospective son-in-law she liked. At this time Uncle Wu came forward. Hello Mama Yen, we brought some gifts for your family. Do you think we should bring them up now? Uncle Wu was decent and polite. At first glance, one could tell that he was from a wealthy family. Mama Yen was grinning from ear to ear. Xiao Xiao, you said that you brought a lot of things every time you came. You're too polite. Just bring them in, and put them in the living room. Mama Yin didn't know how many things they brought. Seeing that they were empty-handed, she thought that they could just take the things out of the car. Unexpectedly, Xiao Xiao and Mama Yin had already sat down and were drinking tea. When Yin Gua heard that Xiao Xiao had come, she rushed to the living room. After the two of them chatted for almost half an hour, they found that Uncle Wu was still moving things in. Papa Yin hurried forward to help. "Uncle Wu, what's going on? Did you bring the whole family here?" Uncle Wu quickly said, No, this is just a small matter. There are too few things to take out." Then he saw that half of Yinran's living room was gradually filled with gifts. Mama Yin looked at the small mountain of gifts in the living room, and her neck was a little stiff. She looked at Xiao Xiao, who was happily chatting with Yin Gua, and asked in confusion, "Xiao Xiao, what are you doing?" Xiao Xiao quickly sat up straight and rubbed his hands nervously. "Uncle, Auntie, I took the liberty to come here today because I have something important to report to you." "Xiao Xiao, if you have something to say, just say it. Why did you bring so many gifts?" Papa Yin also looked at him with a frown. Xiao Xiao's forehead was already sweating. "Uncle, Auntie, I'm very presumptuous today. I came here to ask for your hand in marriage." Xiao Xiao's tongue was suddenly a little tongue-tied. The usually eloquent Xiao Xiao seemed to have flown out of the Milky Way. His tongue was tied with a rope and tied in a knot, so he couldn't speak very smoothly. Yinran's parents were really shocked when they heard Xiao Xiao's words. The two of them looked at each other, and Mama Yin stammered, "What did you say you came here for?" Xiao Xiao was very nervous. He bit his tongue to sober himself up and repeated, "I came here to ask for Yinran's hand in marriage." Then he actually blushed. Yingua's two bright eyes widened. She looked at Xiao Xiao and then at her parents. She felt very curious. "Brother Qiao, are you saying you're going to be my brother-in-law?" Xiao Xiao hurriedly nodded at him. "Do you think it's okay?" Yin Gua immediately shouted, "Of course it's okay. Ha 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 ha, Brother Qiao, you're my idol. I can do whatever I want in school." After Yin Gua's fuss, Papa Qiao and Mama Qiao finally came back to their senses. "Xiao Xiao, is Yinran willing to marry you?" Xiao Xiao hurriedly replied, "Yes, she's willing. I proposed to her before, and she said yes." "Then why didn't she come with you?" Mama Yin asked curiously. "Auntie, Yinran is too busy. I don't want her to worry about these things, and I want to give her a surprise. But I can't be so presumptuous. I must ask for your permission. I'm very traditional. Matchmakers are not popular today, but marriage is a big deal. I must ask for your permission. I really love Yinran. I've been with her for 4 or 5 years. I've decided on her for the rest of my life. I'll take good care of her and make her happy. So Uncle, Auntie, please say yes." Xiao Xiao's words were sincere and sincere. Papa Yin and Mama Yin were shocked that they had been dating for 4 or 5 years, but they only knew about Xiao Xiao's existence in the past year. "Uncle, Auntie, this is the gift list I want to ask Yinran for. Please have a look." Papa Yin and Mama Yin looked at each other and said to Xiao Xiao and Uncle Wu, "Have a seat first. We'll go in and discuss it." Then they went upstairs directly with the gift list. Xiao Xiao's heart was in his throat. Papa Yin and Mama Yin didn't answer him immediately. Yingua came to him and said, "Brother Qiao, what's so good about my sister? She's so cold. She can make the surrounding temperature drop by 10 degrees. Why do you like her? Do you like to bring your own refrigerator?" Xiao Xiao didn't expect that his brother would say that about his sister. He pinched his face and said, "Your sister is very enthusiastic. How can she be like that?" "No, it's really a sunny day in winter. Then my sister's refrigerator must be broken when she met you. She's usually cold to us." "That's because you don't know your sister. She's righteous and has a lot of responsibilities in her heart. So she has to think calmly." Xiao Xiao was very protective of Yinran. "Brother Qiao, you're finished. You've completely fallen under my sister's pomegranate skirt. You've even been brainwashed by her." She then blinked and asked Xiao Xiao sneakily, "How far have you gone with my sister?" Xiao Xiao choked and coughed. High school students nowadays were really precocious. Afraid of leading the children astray, Xiao Xiao said seriously, "Your sister and I respect each other. We're connected in our hearts. We abide by etiquette and rules." Unexpectedly, Yingua looked at him with disgust and said, No, brother Qiao. Is there a problem with you or my sister? This is related to my sister's happiness in the future. Even if you have a good appearance and can't do that, my family won't agree. Xiao Xiao suddenly twisted the little kid's head and said, Yen Gua, how old are you? It's not suitable for children. Do you know that? Yen Gua covered his head and said, I'm not young anymore. My voice has changed. You still treat me like a child. Xiao Xiao looked at his little brother, who looked a little like Yin Ran. He had grown up a lot, and was almost as tall as him. He stopped pretending and asked with a smile, Do you have a girlfriend? Yen Gua's expression suddenly changed, and his eyes began to drift. I'm still young. How can I have one? Don't change the topic. Tell me, how far have you gone? Xiao Xiao laughed and scolded. Tell me how far have you gone and I'll tell you. Really? Let me tell you. There's a girl in my school who is very beautiful. I once held her hand. What about you? Is my sister open? Xiao Xiao sighed. This little brother is too precocious. He's better than him. At this time, he leaned back on the sofa and said, Help me with your parents and I'll buy you limited edition running shoes. Oh yeah, my mother is afraid that she won't be able to get married. If someone wants to marry her, she's already burning incense and praying to Buddha. Then he leaned over to Qiao Zhao's ear and whispered, My sister is too calm. She rarely goes crazy. If you don't take the initiative, you'll probably become a monk. Use your advantages to seduce her. Get in the car first and then buy the ticket later. She's a traditional person. As long as it's her first man, she'll be dead set on him. This is my experience over the years. Then he blinked and didn't realize that he had been bought by his future brother-in-law. Usually, it was his sister who sold her idols. Ha ha ha. Chapter 283. Xiao Xiao gaped at this little brother-in-law. But in a flash he was overjoyed. Being on the same side as him, he felt that his path to marriage had taken another step forward. He put an arm around Yen Gua's shoulder and looked into his eyes with great sincerity. Little brother-in-law, I'm your real brother-in-law from now on. Your brother-in-law has nothing but spoiling little brother-in-law. Just tell me what you want. Can you help your brother-in-law with something now? Yen Guo was overjoyed by Qiao Zhao's words and called him brother-in-law so intimately. Brother-in-law, if there's anything you want to tell me, I'll definitely help you get it done. Xiao Xiao glanced upstairs and then winked at Yen Guo. Yen Guo immediately understood and made an okay gesture. Watch me. I guarantee you'll succeed immediately. Remember to give me a few more autograph photos. I'll take them to school to give to my classmates. Without waiting for Qiao Zhao's reply, he rushed up the stairs in quick steps. Xiao Xiao sat on the sofa and swung his legs. It seemed that there was a chance. Uncle Wu finally finished moving everything. Xiao Xiao looked at the boxes that reached the ceiling in the living room and was really frightened. Uncle Wu, did we prepare so much? Will there be enough for the actual wedding later? Uncle Wu waved his hand. Enough. If it's not enough, I'll think of something else. I won't treat my crown princess unfairly. Xiao Xiao immediately sat on the sofa and drank tea with a clear conscience, looking forward to his beautiful dream. He didn't expect that there would be so many arguments upstairs. Do you think this marriage is reliable? Papa Yin looked at Mama Yin with a deep frown. Reliable, of course it's reliable. I like Xiao Xiao. He's handsome and knows how to make money. He's also good to Yanran. Didn't you hear what he said? They've been together for many years. Mama Yin raised her hands in agreement. Think about it. What kind of personality does our Yanran have? And what kind of personality does Xiao Xiao have? Can they get along? I don't believe it. Dad, you're wrong. This is called complementing each other's personalities. With our daughter's personality, she won't be able to get married at all. Moreover, he is a person whom we met when we were classmates. We know each other very well, and he is also very pure. I don't know how Yanran managed to hook the heart of such a handsome guy. My daughter is really capable. You can't find a second person like Xiao Xiao even with a lantern. Yanran's mother was simply like a mother-in-law looking at her son-in-law. The more she looked at him, the more she liked him. But Yanran still has such a big burden to bear. Won't she burden Xiao Xiao? What are you talking about? Then didn't you say you were dragging me down? Mother Yin glared at Father Yin and was about to yell at him. Father Yin hurriedly went forward to hug his wife and began to coax her. I'm just worried about our daughter. Our daughter's personality is too cold. She hides everything in her stomach. Can this Xiao Xiao really get along with her? I also want to hear my daughter's opinion. Didn't Xiao Xiao just say it? He wants to give Yanran a surprise. If you tell her so directly, it might not happen. You want to pack our daughter up and give her away so much? I really can't bear to do it. She is my little cotton jacket. Mother Yin thought about it and agreed. Their family's Yanran had big ideas. No one could force her to do anything, so it was better to ask for her daughter's opinion first. At this time, the study door was knocked open. Yengua poked her head in and ran in. Dad, Mom, I came to see Brother Qiao's betrothal gifts. After saying that, she took out the gift list that her father hadn't had time to open. There were dozens of pages on the bright red carved betrothal gift list. It was a thick stack. Yengua read out the items one by one. 100 kilograms of gold. Wait, what did you say? Father Yin was stunned. 100 kilograms of gold for real? I saw it downstairs just now. Those boxes were all golden when you opened them. Then continue reading. 1 Maserati. Wait. Mother Yin also misheard. What did you say? Yengua said loudly. 1 Maserati. I saw the car keys. Mother Yin looked at Father Yin and pressed her hand to her heart. Why do I feel like my heart is beating a little too slowly? Father Yin also didn't come back to his senses. Yengua said. Then I'll continue reading. 3. 1 gold tea tube and 2 silver tea tubes. 4 2 silver basins. 5 20 jade articles. 6 4 jade rui. 7 a set of dragon and phoenix enamel plates, and a number of famous calligraphy and paintings. 8 15 house certificates from all over the country. Yengua's eyes sparkled. Dad, Mom, what are you hesitating for? Where can you find such a good son-in-law? I saw these 15 houses. They are all more than 1,000 square meters. Just in Bay City alone, there are 5. Mother Yin was really shocked. This house in Bay City is at least 100 million. How can Xiao Zhao's family be so rich? Dad, Mom, Brother Qiao is so good to my sister. What's there to hesitate about? With so many treasures, it's more than enough to marry my sister off 10 times. Mother Yin glared. Do you think we're selling our daughter? Mom, you can't say that. Since Brother Qiao took these things out as betrothal gifts, he's absolutely sincere. You won't lose a daughter. You see, Brother Qiao only has Uncle Wu here. Then won't our family be his family in the future? You've gained a son. His family has so much property. When you have children with my sister in the future, won't they all belong to your grandson? Father Yin and Mother Yin were really moved by this clever and eccentric son. The most important thing was that they all saw how good Xiao Xiao was to Yanran. Son, do you mean that we don't need to ask your sister about this in advance? What if she doesn't agree? What if we accept other people's betrothal gifts? I don't think she will disagree. Since Brother Qiao dares to propose marriage, his relationship with my sister must be in place. But according to my sister's temperament, Brother Qiao doesn't know when he will marry her. I think Brother Qiao is right. We'll prepare everything and tell her on the wedding day. Then she won't have a chance to regret. Mom, haven't you always been worried that my sister won't be able to get married? Now that we have such a good husband, we have to hurry up and hold on to him. After all, Yengua had already said what Father Yin and Mother Yin were thinking. They looked at each other and said, Deal. They wouldn't tell Yinran first. They would secretly prepare and accept this son-in-law. After Father Yin and Mother Yin went downstairs, they nodded to Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao's nervous heart finally calmed down. He jumped up from the sofa happily and gave Father Yin and Mother Yin a bear hug. He said sweetly, Dad, Mom, I will be filial to you in the future. Father Yin and Mother Yin were so happy that they couldn't close their mouths. Dad, Mom, when do you think the wedding day will be? At this time, Uncle Wu immediately stepped forward and pushed the auspicious date he chose in front of Father Yan's parents. Miss Yinran is about to graduate. The earliest auspicious date is August 18th, and then September 9th. Which one do you think is the most suitable? Father Yin saw that the date was so close. There are still 2 months to prepare for the wedding. Isn't it too late? Uncle Wu quickly said. We have been preparing for it for a long time. It has been almost a year. The house has been renovated. If it is convenient for you in the afternoon, we can invite you to take a look. If you are not satisfied, we will buy another house. Father Yin and Mother Yin were surprised. You have been preparing for it for a year? Yes, Miss Yinran and young master love each other. I have been preparing for them for a long time. At this time, Father Yin and Mother Yin really felt Xiao Zhao's sincerity. Mother Yin chuckled and said, You have been preparing for it since the first time you came to our house. Have you wanted to propose for a long time? Xiao Zhao said embarrassedly, I have this intention for a long time, but Yinran is always shy. The main reason is that she hasn't graduated from college yet. I have to wait until she graduates. Oh, aren't you in the same class as her? Yinran is about to graduate. What are your plans? Dad, Mom, I have been sent to the Department of Computer Science for a master's degree. I will continue to do my master's degree. At this time, Xiao Xiao finally felt that his education came in handy. Father Yin and Mother Yin were even more satisfied. They felt that it was a pity that their daughter didn't go to graduate school, but their daughter had her own ideas, and they couldn't make the decision. There is one more very important thing. Xiao Xiao, do you know Yinran's identity? Father Yin asked Xiao Xiao seriously. I know this. Yinran has a great responsibility on her shoulders. She has her own mission. I will fully support her, and will never hold her back. Father Yin looked at Xiao Xiao with gratification. At least for now, he was very satisfied with this son-in-law. The family had a happy lunch. After a short rest, they went directly to Xiao Zhao's house. Along the way, Uncle Wu introduced the relationship between Xiao Xiao and Yinran to Father Yin and Mother Yin. When Mother Yin learned that her daughter used to be Xiao Zhao's teacher, and the relationship between the two became good, she couldn't help but sigh. This is really fate. It seems that you have to thank Miss Zhu. She is your matchmaker. The car drove steadily into the courtyard of the villa. The road leading to the villa was wide and straight. Tall and domineering sycamore trees were planted on both sides. In the middle of the courtyard was a very large garden. There was a small fountain at the entrance. In the middle of the fountain, there was an exquisite sculpture with its hands outstretched and its waist bent, as if welcoming the arrival of guests. Father Yin and Mother Yin seemed to have entered a small castle. Except for the fact that there were no servants lined up at the door to welcome them. Everything else was so exquisite. It was summer. All kinds of flowers and plants in the garden swayed in the wind, and the fragrance assailed their nostrils. In the middle of the garden hung a swing made of rattan chairs. At this time, a kitten was sitting lazily on it, basking in the sun. Mother Yin asked in surprise, Is this your family's cat? Uncle Wu replied, Not really. It's just that our yard is big enough, and there are no walls. Kittens often come to play, so we feed them. After a long time, they seem to have become our house cat. Xiao Xiao finally understood why he often heard the sound of cats meowing at night, and sometimes it was very sad. It turned out that it added some spice to his and Yinran's nightlife. The group walked into the main hall. Uncle Wu asked them to sit down and made tea for everyone. At this time they heard the door click. A clear female voice said, Uncle Wu, I'm back. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.